Hello! Happy today! I hope everyone's doing well. How's it going? Uh, it's February. Hi, February. Hope everyone's doing well. How's the weekend going so far? Hope everybody's weekend's good. I am not gonna do an environment today. Last stream, I don't know what it was. It was it wasn't terrible. I liked the painting. That was nice. But I felt like my ability to chat and talk while painting completely vanished. And it was just I don't know, it was like the worst. So today is gonna be not environments. Ooh, also that's green. I made this green. I don't know if that's a good idea. We'll see. We'll see how painting on a different colored background is. This might be a terrible idea. But I want to try it. It gives everything a brighter, sunnier feeling, maybe. But yeah, Matcha Sage, hope you're doing well. Happy today. Let's see, is the music too loud? I don't know. It's not that loud. It'll be okay. I think everything's good. Let's see, that's good. This is good. I can close that. I'm gonna try and close some things. Post that. Close the window. I'm just trying to close the window. I'm really hoping to not have technical difficulties today. That's my, well, I shouldn't say plan. It's my hope. My hope is no technical difficulties. But we will see how that goes, because you never know. Sometimes you just have technical difficulties. I think I'm just gonna start putting colors down. I'm gonna definitely paint in colors today. I'm gonna try and keep them, I don't know, fun, I guess. Maybe I should try to have a distinct mood though for each. So like this one could be sunny, happy, a bit sunshiny. We get some variations of greens in here in the sun. I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely taking suggestions if anyone has it. What should I paint? Speaking of suggestions, I know I asked this before, and I always ask it at like the start of January, but does anyone remember what their New Year's resolutions were? And or if you do remember, what were they? Because I don't remember what mine were. I think it probably had something to do with like more storytelling in my paintings or more detail. I don't know. I was making a Patreon post yesterday, which I have, by the way. I have a Patreon. Wait, am I unmuted? Last stream I was talking for a while and I was muted. No, it looks like I'm not muted. But anyway, I do have a Patreon. And anyway, I was making it. That's not relevant. I was making a Patreon post yesterday, and I was going over like my latest the ogre painting, and I was sort of breaking it down into like, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly kind of thing. Sort of a like what I liked about it, and I found that I was really happy with the variation of focal points. Like, you not really like a lot of focal points, but just little things that you could see in there and that make it more interesting. So I kind of appreciated that in my own art, and that's definitely, I think that was one of the things I was like, I want to do more of this year. And I think I did it in that first painting, and it was, you know, I did it in January. So that's definitely something I want to do more of, is like, I'll still have my main, you know, my main big focal point wherever it is, whatever's happening in there. But then I'll have little, like, you know, I guess you could call them secondary and tertiary. I don't like the word tertiary, though. Just, you know, additional, less important focal points where, you know, you might look off in the distance and there's some little thing, or you look somewhere off to the side and there's like a little interaction or something happening that kind of changes or the story in some way. Just stuff like that. I find that, I don't know. Looking back at all my old paintings, a lot of times it's just like, here's one thing and then I stop. And I think some of that has to do with me mostly just doing paintings on stream. Also, this is kind of fun color. I like the way that the blue pokes through there. That's fun. Okay, now we can get some shadows, some darker greens, but not too dark. I want to make this painting, keep it kind of sunny. So yeah, that's one of my plans for today as well. Is I don't know if I'll actually get to the additional focal points, but I would like to at least have an idea of how I could. Well, maybe I will. I'll add them in. So something like if this were just like a, I don't know. I'm thinking like an adventure, just a classic adventure scene. You know, you have like maybe like a path that goes down to somewhere, and there's something, a big focal point over here, you know. Um, and then you have like, you know, a path and a character, some things on the side of the path that maybe tell some story of like what's there. It could be signs, it could be a bench, it could be lots of things. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe there's multiple characters. I don't know. Maybe there's like a house. Maybe there's little houses on these hills. Like that. So like here's a house. And then here's a house. Those wouldn't be good though, because we don't want them all the same size. Maybe some sweeping hills. But yeah, I want to start simple today also because I don't want to. I want to start on a good note. That's something that I find. I feel like it's a little cheesy sounding, right? Where it's like, oh, I want to start like. I gotta start with a win or something, you know. I feel like it's sort of those like self-help guru speak, where like do something good for yourself in the days at the start, so that you know. But I think it's kind of true, right? Like I think it's easy to be like. I don't know, you start off in a crummy mood or something, and then it's just like takes over. And I feel like with art, especially for like a long stream, I find that I mean, maybe that's not very relatable, but I feel like with stream it totally happens where like if you start off in like a kind of a sour mood, it's hard to kind of recover. I don't know. So that's maybe another thing that I'm gonna do. We'll see. We'll see. Do something good for yourself. Yeah, pretty much. Hey, Peter, how's it going? Yeah, just thinking about last stream. I watched some of it back, and I was kind of down on not down on myself. I just felt it was. So that's all I was rambling about. But yeah, how are you? So yeah, today also I just want to try lots of stuff. I'm trying something hard, and it might fail, but at least I'm trying something. Yeah, that's good. That is good. Yeah, I feel like a lot of those concepts, like failing in art, is I've always struggled with the word. I mean, I always struggle with definitions of word anyway, because I feel like people oftentimes use a lot of words very, very, very hand wavy, to like mean an all encompassing thing. Uh, and that can be, I don't know. I always struggle with that. I don't know if it's just like the way I am or something, but it's just I feel like it's always been a thing that I struggle with. People will say things like, um, you know, like do it for yourself or something, and it's like, well, what does that mean? Because it makes you feel good, or because it's actually like you think it's objectively good, right? Or like, are you actually if you do something for yourself but are harming yourself, is that still like for your, you know, doing it for yourself, or is that well, you like what do you know, that kind of thing. I mean, that's how I feel like with fate, like when people are like, I'm a perfectionist in art. Well, okay, well, what does perfectionism mean in art? And if you clearly define it, are what you're doing actually like, are you actually taking the actions for that, or are you just finding reasons to sort of stress out about stuff? And you know, like there's so many things, you know, whether it's, you know, topics like art block or perfectionism, or there's so many of them, and I struggle with those. Not in the sense that I struggle with those like things. I might. I don't think I do. Not perfectionism for sure. But because I'm anywhere but a perfectionist, I feel like. Stop making me relive my certificate studies when I try to understand one. Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like these things, though, they are. I like thinking about them because for me, oftentimes it gives me a peace of mind because it's sort of like a. It's like a questioning way of like, in what I'm stressing out about worth stressing out about at all? And then the answer is almost always, oh no, it's not, because it was really just like the vague term, crumbling down on itself because I didn't really know what it meant, and it meant I was using it like one word to mean 5 different things at once. Anyway, hi Skittle, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Happy today. Also, I got my tea, so no need for the hydrate. You can save your 1 point. Your one... What do I even call my points? I don't even know what I call my channel points. What do I call my channel points? Happy today to you too. Yeah. They used to be paper rolls. Oh, you've denied me my purpose. Oh, Peter did it. Peter, you've wasted a point. I was already hydrating. 1 whole point. Wasteful, wasteful. Oh, posture check. Okay. I just sat down. I'm already sitting up straight. Okay. Yeah, totally put to good use right there. I can't live with myself. I know. What does the world come to? People throwing away their points like that, just all willy-nilly. Not a care in the world. It's gonna take you minutes to earn that back. Whole minute, 1 point. I know. But yeah, I am trying to just be chill. I mean, I always thought I'm chill, but I don't think I am. I think sometimes on stream I come off not very chill. Also, my nose is itching every time, man. I don't know what it is, but stream is like I hit the go live button and my nose starts itching, and then now I'm like picking at my nose, like that part'll itch and this part. I don't know what it is. I do see growth in my Juan anatomy in your human anatomy. The more you study and the more you know, the less you feel there is. Wait. Am I reading this? Wait, what? Okay. Peter says, I do see growth in my human anatomy. The more I study it, the more I know, the less I feel like there is more I can study. But obviously, really, you feel like there's less you can study the more you learn. Oh, see, I feel like in almost every topic with art, almost everyone, I feel like the more that I learn, the more I realize of all the nuanced things I could be studying. Like, I think when I started it, like, anatomy is one thing, and then you're like, oh, well, actually, like, there's not just, here's the anatomy, but you also have, like, anatomy and motion and, like, specific things and differences between, like, the range of human beings or, between human and animals, and, like how muscles, like, there's so many weird things that aren't just drawing a static person, or, like, and then you get things like, and there's just all sorts of things. Like, there's always, I don't know, there's just always stuff. I don't know. That's how I've always felt. But I suppose everyone's different. I know the more I do it, the more I know, the less it becomes something I don't know. I don't know what that means. The more... Gosh, I feel like my brain is not comprehending that sentence. I know, but the more... Okay, I know, but the more I do it, the more I know, the less it becomes something I don't know. Gosh, this is like the more positive, negative, canceling each other. I'm sorry, I'm struggling these sentences. So it feels like I don't know it, but then I don't know it when I thought I did. Oh, I think I got it, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think I get it. Maybe. I'm not quite sure. I feel like I know whatever you're trying to say. I think I understand it. But also, I'm not really sure what you're trying to say. The more you do it, the more you know. The more you know, the less... The more you do it, the more you know. The less it becomes something you don't know. The less it becomes... So it feels like I know it, when it actually... I do it and I see flaws. I think I get it. Alright, so are you saying you're... I mean... But you seeing flaws, though, is an indicator that those are all areas that, like, you could still, in theory, learn more, right? I mean, I think there's that... Well, I think a comma... I I don't think it's the spelling. I think it's probably a comma here and there, because sometimes it's like, the more you know, the less you don't know, you know? And it's just like... Anyway, it's not a big deal. So, is what you're... Because I know, like, there's that classic thingy. I think it's by Ira Glass or whoever is that Ira dude. I don't know. I know his name's Ira. I don't know if it's Glass or one of the other people. But there's that idea that, like, there's these two lines, and, like, one of the lines is, like, your skill and the other line is your perception. And so sometimes your skill is good. That's not how it works. Sometimes there's a point... Here, let me find the stupid thing. I know Sourpuss just retweeted it. Let me go to Blue Sky. And I think you're describing that thing. But basically the idea is that, like, sometimes your artistic eye and, like, your knowledge and what you see and understand is higher than your skill. So every single thing you do feels like it sucks. And that's kind of the ideal in a way, because that's where you're actually, like, your skill is catching up. But then sometimes your skill meets where you are, and you're like, oh, my art's so good, but you're actually not really learning that much. And then other times, is it possible for your artistic vision to be less than your skill? I don't know. Let me find the thing. Search. Sour. Yeah, I know she just retweeted it, so it was like the... Let me just find it. Scroll. Oh, here it is. Why don't I retweet it? It's time to look at the graph. Why don't I just retweet it? Well, no, never mind. So here it is. Here's the thing. Hey, iBiscuit, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Okay, so surely you've seen this. So the idea is, like, is this. So the blue line... I did have it right. So the blue line is skill at making art, and then the purple line, or the pink line, is skill at seeing or evaluating your art. And the idea is that, like, you have... So art is a cycle. Sometimes you draw really well. Sometimes you feel like you can't draw at all. In reality, you are always slowly improving. It's just a cycle of seeing versus drawing that makes you think you are doing worse. So the idea is, like, sometimes as you learn more, or as your skill increases, right, you start to get higher skill, but then you're not seeing stuff very well, and you're like, oh, I'm doing so good. And then eventually this line passes up, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing terrible because my skill is down here and my ideas and visions are up here. And then you have to go and learn some more things. And I feel like as long as you keep learning, you can keep this pink line above, and you'll always feel terrible about your art, but you'll also be improving faster because your skill will be dragged up. That's how I feel about it. Like, I don't think you want your eye to be worse than your skill, right? Like, where every single thing you do feels like a masterpiece. I mean, it's a nice feeling, I guess, but I don't think... Is that kind of what you're saying? So we should... No, not depressed. I think if you know that this is a phenomenon, then you can be... You can say, when I see my art, I see all the flaws, but I'm also happy that I'm learning and I'm still growing. Like, I can be happy with my art, knowing that I'm improving, and I'm happy with the time and the effort that I put in, and I can be happy with the steps I take on any given piece, right? Maybe I do my due diligence, and I reference, and I learn stuff, and I push myself out of my comfort zone to learn something new, and then at the end of the day, I'm like, wow, what a great painting session. But if I look at my art, I'm like, it's okay. I don't think that's grounds to be depressed. I think that's grounds to celebrate that you did hard things and achieved something. You may not say this is the best painting I ever made, but you can still like acknowledge the fact that it's a higher skill painting than you made a month ago. That's, I don't know, that it's sort of like, once you're aware of that phenomenon, you can learn to see on the bright side. But also, you can intentionally choose to do easy paintings that will get you that easy win, right? And I say easy win, but more like you can get a victory of a painting. You know, a painting that you kind of, you know, it turns out really good because it was sort of not pushing yourself. And you can make that decision because it's going to be below your skill level, so you know what it is, kind of. I don't know. I find... Like, I don't think not loving your painting is not grounds for, like, depression, in my opinion. But I mean, I think if you tie a lot to those, like, I mean, obviously, I think caring a lot about your art is a good thing, actually. Contrary to what some people probably say, is like, oh, you should be able to throw your art away without caring. I don't know. I mean, kind of, but also it's sort of... I think there's definitely some joy in really getting invested in what you're making. To me, it seems like I know a lot of artists that do the easy win. Yeah, but oftentimes that's because they're... I mean, and I guess when I say that easy win, I mean painting a thing that they're already comfortable painting, right? It's like, I mean, you know, you could argue, for me, it's going to be some sort of environment, but probably an environment without much lighting, so like a foggy forest. A good example is from 2 streams ago, when I mentioned this... Also, is my mic... Okay. I mentioned this, well, 2 streams ago. Actually, I mentioned it last stream, I think. This painting. This painting, for me, is an easy win. Because it's very straightforward. It's light in the background, right? There's a gradient from dark in the foreground to light in the background. The trees are simply just extracted up from wherever, you know, if they're closer to me, they're darker. If they're farther away, they're lighter. And it's basically just silhouettes, right? It's not that difficult, but it looks nice, right? I mean, I like it. I think it looks nice. I even got to play around with some like particle effects and stuff that's fun. But to me, this is like a painting that comes together relatively easy. I can more or less... It's an easy win. You know, people can say, oh, I love this one. But I'm like, I slopped it together. You know, this painting doesn't give me a lot of fulfillment, right? It's nice, and I can like the painting. But then I do a painting where I don't like the painting, but it gives me more fulfillment because I actually tried. And so I can alternate as I see fit. Or I can do a painting like this with a twist, where maybe I paint one subject matter, like, you know, instead of a pot here, this could have been a face. You know, here's a face, and then this face could have been, you know, an anatomy study, and now it's an easy painting with, like, one difficult thing in it, you know? Anyway. So I think there's ways to mix it up, and I think seeing it kind of granular like that, at least for me, helps me... Again, this is where I think thinking about things in that way, sort of picking them apart and really getting nitpicky over, like, definitions, helps me see some of that nuance, and then I can pick and choose what it is I'm focusing on. If a painting's going bad, I don't just say, oh, it's a bad painting, I feel bad. Well, no, like, a specific thing might not be to my satisfactory, but other things are. And so I can just choose to focus on the good stuff and be like, I'm happy with those, and I'm not super thrilled about these. And it's not like I'm black and white, feeling good or feeling bad. Like, there's always something to be happy. Not happy. I don't like the word happy. There's something to be happy about, and there's other things to be maybe not super thrilled about. But I think, I don't know. That's how I see it. It's like there's never a time where something is so terrible that it's worth like totally stressing about. At least not in art, right? Because they're like, I mean, you could celebrate lots of things. I don't know. So I don't know if that's what you mean by an easy win. That's what I meant by an easy win, is that doing a painting or doing something that you feel like you've actually succeeded in what you set out to do. Because if you're always pushing yourself to, like, say, learn something new, it's possible that every painting you do is going to feel like it was, you know, a failure because you struggled at every step of the way in every painting you ever make. And, like, that's not enjoyable, right? We don't really want to be there. I mean, in theory, you would learn really fast as long as you don't get depressed. But you also might, because now you're just constantly struggling and feel... But again, this is where taking a different perspective and like looking back through your old art and being like, hey, I actually have come a long way. Or having a friend say that you've come a long way. You know, have an outside view say... I mean, this sometimes happens even on stream. Somebody will come in and be like, wow, you've really improved since the last time I've been here. I'm like, really? Like, I don't think so. But it's nice because I do kind of trust them, even though I may not totally believe it. I feel like when you hear stuff like that, you're like, okay, well, there's probably something to it. So even if I can't see it, I can still trust them. If your goals are to progress the same pace as your skill, you never reach them because it feels like you're going nowhere. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's, I mean, and that's where I think judging your satisfaction based on how well you perceive your art is a terrible metric, right? It's, again, this isn't a metric we should use. Like, that's why, I mean, and again, it's not easy, right? I do struggle with this a little bit, especially, I mean, not so much. So here's an example, and this isn't me tooting my own horn. Like, so Instagram's a good example of this. Back when I wasn't, I'm just going to say wasn't growing at all, because for whatever reason, the algorithm didn't like me, and, like, you know, I would more or less do what I'm doing now. You know, maybe it was a combination of things, but either way, I was pretty much doing what I'm doing now, and I would make a post, I would get a couple likes or whatever, you know, let's say 50, which again might be a lot for you or might not be, I don't know. Everybody's account is a little different, but and that would feel kind of like sucky at first, but then eventually you realize that, okay, well, that's just how Instagram is for me. I don't really care. I'm going to still focus on my art. And then at some point I became content, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to post art and not worry about it, which is, I learned to do that. And then at some point I started gaining some viewers. Or not viewers. Hi, it's a raid. Murasaki. And then at some point I started gaining, like, followers on Instagram, right? And that obviously felt good. But then occasionally you'd have that post that just nobody seems to see, and it's like that for a brief moment that feels bad, but then there's always that reminder that, like, wait a second, I've already gone through this. It's okay. Like, why am I judging my art and my self-worth based on this stupid metric? And then you're like, oh, okay, it's not actually a big deal. Like, you can kind of, like, I think it's fine to get the rewards from the likes and the views or whatever, but then when it doesn't come, you have to find something else to find that happiness or whatever from, because you can't just attach it to this stupid thing. So it is kind of like a constantly shifting perspective and trying to think about things from a more nuanced view. You can't just be like, big number go up, I'm happy, and then big number goes down and I'm sad. Like, you can't, I don't feel like that's a valid way to live life. Or not, I shouldn't say valid, it's just not a productive way, or a healthy way, probably. Murasaki, how are you? Welcome, Raiders. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. What were you doing today? People coming in from Murasaki's stream. Feel if you're probably stuck in an ad. If you were doing any art and you'd like to share, please do. I would love to know what you were up to. Yeah, but the real reason to be happy comes from within yourself. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm saying. In not so... Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying in a different way. Yeah, I mean, you have to find the reason. I mean, I don't... Again, this is another me nitpicking over silly terms, right? This is another term, or not, the term's not silly, but this is me nitpicking over a term and being like, what does that mean from within yourself? Like, yeah, I mean, I think you can choose to look on the bright side, or you can look on not the bright side, and I think sometimes what you thought was the bright side suddenly becomes not the bright side, and now you're dwelling on the wrong thing. And then you have to make the choice to, like, switch over and think of the other reasons that there's good things. I've heard of things like I've never done this, so I don't really know. I think there's something to it, though. Like, some people keep what's called, like, a gratitude journal. And it's like, each day you write down, like, 3 things you're thankful for. And the idea isn't that, like, you... Like, the idea is that you start to make a habit of looking for things that are good, right? Even if they're little things like, I ate a delicious sandwich today, right? Because the idea is that, like, you can learn to enjoy those things. Learn to enjoy, even if it's just eating a sandwich, right? It doesn't have to be like, I won the lottery, right? Some people would just never think about the small stuff, and they don't even think about, oh, I can shift my focus onto good stuff. Like, I already kind of do that in a way. Like, I mean, I talk about this all the time anyway. It's just I don't keep the journal, but I do think about that stuff. And there's lots of things to be thankful for. So yeah, in that sense, I think it does come from yourself. So, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's what you meant by that, but that's how I read into that. I think it's definitely a useful skill. And I do think it's a skill. I think it's a way of thinking, and it's not super easy for a lot of people, because a lot of people just haven't done it in so long that it's uncomfortable or something. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's useful. And I think art is particularly good at this, like, because if you don't do this thing, you can be particularly down on yourself with art, because everything is new, everything is what's the word, ripe with opportunity to fail. Like, there's so many opportunities where something's not going to go your way. It's super easy to get sucked down that rabbit hole. So I feel like I'm okay at focusing on the bright side, but I don't. I mean, sometimes I still, like, I don't think thinking about the negative stuff's bad either. As long as you try to do it in a fairly level-headed way. Which I don't always, but... But yeah. I'm just happy and thankful that, like, I mean, I don't know, we're hanging out on Twitch, painting, and, like, that's pretty cool. I don't know. I just love, like, the art community, making, I mean, it's cool to be able to make stuff, and I mean, it's basic, you know, I like to think of art as a language, you know, as a visual language. I think it's just cool to be able to say things and learn and basically practice communicating visually and around a community and building skills and trying things and learning. I don't know. It's just neat. I like that. Like, that's something that I feel like it doesn't matter how terrible the painting is going, that will always be there. Like, that's not gonna go away. I mean, I've said it a million times, but, like, I plan on painting till I'm, you know, my hands fall off. Like, I plan on painting for a long time, and so I don't ever plan on... I mean, I guess it is possible that I would practice bad habits, and so I would get worse. But I don't really ever plan on stop learning to some degree. I mean, I definitely don't plan on it, but like I think I'll always be learning to some degree, and so I'll always be getting better at something. It may, maybe my hands will get more shaky or something, or but in terms of the knowledge of how I communicate a thing, I think I'll always become a better communicator. My style might look different, or in terms of like speaking, you might sound a little different or something, or your art will look a little different, but ultimately you'll still be a better communicator, or you'll be capable of communicating better. I don't know. That's how I see it. So that makes me happy. Strum Eagle, happy lurking. Happy lurking. What if I do something like this? Just putting some big shapes up. Big, colorful swatches of color. That I said the color a lot right there. Big swatches of color on the color. There we go. Color on color. That's kind of nice. I like that. I mean, it's kind of just a big tower, but again, sometimes I think starting with a big generic shape like that can be fine. This could be like little mushrooms. Maybe not. I am open for suggestions on what to paint, though, by the way, if anybody has any input into that area. Environments, preferably. But I do take suggestions. Kind of. I mean, yes, I guess suggestions is the right way to say it. They're not, like, concrete, like, I will for sure paint it. But I do like to... Sometimes I don't think about like what I want to paint that much, and so just any sort of outside suggestion be like, oh wow, that's a fun, that would be fun. And yeah. All right. Maybe this shape can have some, like, again, this is kind of a large shape, so maybe we can get some small shapes in there. Maybe maybe this is lots of small shapes, so there's just lots of little shapes in here. I don't know. Maybe we also push the foreground really something like this, where we get this blue in here. And then this is us climbing back, and now I can draw along. Nice. Skittle, what are you working on today? I assume a painting that you've been working on stream. I still find it amazing and kind of inspiring, Skittle, that you paint before you stream. Like, why don't you just stream? I mean, maybe that's not a good question. You probably, I think I already know the answer, but like, I don't know. I find it really interesting that you paint so much. Or are you not trying to fix the perspective on the interior piece that you've been trying to figure out? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I realize not all painting on stream is that productive, and it's not always the same, but I'm always curious, like, cause you paint a lot. I think you paint way more than I do. I remember a while back someone was in here and I asked them how much they paint, and they're like, "Oh, probably like 10 hours a day." Are you kidding me? Like, I do. Oh my goodness, I can't imagine painting 10 hours a day. Like, look, I like painting, but oof, 10 hours a day, I would be brain dead. I couldn't do it. And if I was, it would be maybe if I was just toiling away at details, it's possible. I do like this blue. Before stream, you tend to work either on problem solving for the stream piece or side stuff that don't intend to stream. Oh, okay. So you actually do a little bit of planning. That's smart. I always find that whenever I do a little bit of planning before stream, it goes way better. Who would have thought? Planning before something makes it go better? But it is nice to have some sort of, even if it's not like a real plan. Like I don't plan the paintings or anything, but you can still plan stuff. Dang, we already got a whole beautiful thumbnail. Thanks, Sarah. I appreciate. Yeah, I am trying to make an effort to just have more fun. I last stream, I mean, it wasn't that bad of a stream, but last stream I looked back at the stream, I'm like, this stream kind of sucked. Also, I changed the color here to be a brighter green instead of like dull gray. This is my positivity stream where I'm where I'm trying to I don't know, just like play around. You missed that stream, Rip. I I mean, it wasn't a very good stream. Not every stream's great, you know? And we were just talking about this, how, like, you know, finding a way. Oop, I forgot to turn on the oh, no, I am time-lapsing. Nice. Uh, we were just talking about this, how, like, not every painting is great, and sometimes it's okay. And, like, it is okay that not every stream is great, and maybe the benefit of last stream was that it was like a slap in the face, and like, hey, maybe I should not do that again. Uh, you didn't like the painting? Oh no, the painting was okay. It was just me. The conversation, the just everything about it was not fun for me. I didn't get much fulfillment out of the painting. The painting was nice. I pretty much just painted from a reference. So, and we were talking a little bit about like, can I even call it a study if I'm just like mindlessly copying the reference? Which I did eventually add my own stuff, and this is the painting, and I like it. The painting's nice, kinda. I mean, I think the painting's nice. This is what we did last stream. But no, it was more the conversation stream itself, not the painting. And we were actually talking about this earlier today, right before you came in. Like I try not to get too down on myself if the painting sucks. So it's not really that. It's more all the other things, right? Me not communicating, or when I do, I sound grumpy, or I stay on the same topic way too long, which, you know, I do anyway, because that's kind of what I do. But it just didn't, I just don't think I made it for a very pleasant lurking experience, and which is kind of what I want, right? I want people to be able to use this as a podcast, and, you know, maybe just like an art podcast in some way. Obviously, people can chat and say stuff if they want and join in any of the conversations and add to it. But sometimes if it's so sort of just like dwelling on stupid stuff or going on tangents that aren't interesting or exciting or depressing, then people leave, and that's not fun either. I think studies have a range. They can be direct copies or a wide or change widely from a ref. You can learn from both. Yeah, true. You can. But no, so yeah, last stream we were talking a lot about like what even constitutes a study, because I think if you are like, I don't know, I guess for me, like, learning to quote unquote copy better isn't really a goal of mine, like, at all. And so even though I might be getting better at that, and I technically might be learning how to copy a reference better, that's not really my goal. And so for me, if I'm just end up doing the mindless copying, it's not, it's hard to call it a study. But I do think I learned stuff. I did play with some, like, adding warmth in here to make the place feel like, what happens if I take take like a warm yellow green and just like add it to the scene, and like almost like a bounce light coming in, and it does make the painting feel a different way. Like there was lots of things that I tried that I was pretty happy with, and that I hadn't really done before. So yeah, no, I do think I learned some stuff, and I think it's fair to call it a study, but I'm doing some tree studies right now, and I'm basically just trying to copy, but I am trying to figure out my workflow and what type. Yeah, but your focus is on something else, right? Like you said, you're trying to figure out your workflow and brushes. I think sometimes people will, and this is one of the things we talked a lot about, is like, you'll go in with a goal, but halfway through your brain flips off and you autopilot into just copy mode, and it's like, okay, it's technically a study, fine, but also was it productive? Not really. You could have learned just as much by, doing literally anything. Well, workflow and brushes specifically for trees. Gotcha. That sounds fun. I haven't done a lot of, like, workflow stuff in a long time. That would be a good exercise to do. You know what? I remember a long time ago, I watched a video by the one and only Craig Mullins. And I remember a lot in that video, a lot of what he was saying was like, use gradients, He's like, if you look up at the sky, it's not just one color of blue, and which is, all these things were extremely obvious in hindsight. He's like, it's not just one color of blue, it's not just one value, it's not just one saturation, and it doesn't just go from top to bottom, but also from left to right or diagonal left to right, and it might even change hue as it crosses. Like, there's lots of little subtleties in any single plane. So if you have like a plane here, this plane is gonna have, if the light is coming from this direction, this top might be a little bit, more saturated, and this part, or desaturated, and this part might be a little bit more saturated down here, and just like little subtleties are gonna happen. And I thought that was a cool thing, and I want to work some of that back in. Sometimes I forget to do stuff like that. I think that was like 6 years ago when I watched that video. But sometimes it's like, wow, I haven't actually thought about doing that in quite a while. Just like add little gradients, because it just adds that much more interest in color shifts and all sorts of things. Yes, the sky typically does get darker towards the top, and it wasn't really about sky, it was more about like light shining on planes. So like, it's very rare that if you have like a wall, the light is going to be perfectly centered on the wall, equally spreading its light everywhere. Like, it doesn't happen, right? You don't typically have a perfectly, chances are the light's going to be coming at a slight angle, or you're going to have, it's going to be more centered to the middle of the wall, as it'll be close and localized, so you'll get like gradients going outward, or you'll have multiple, you have one other additional light that's going to change. So like, maybe you have a main light hitting the wall at an angle, but then you have another light way off screen hitting the light at a slightly different angle, so you creates little gradients and just lots of little color variety and just stuff that makes it more appealing. And I think it's easy to forget that, like, and I think there's also a way to add that stuff in early. Like, you can do big color washes of gradients and just get different things, and just me like shifting the hue a little bit, or I guess color jitter could be a thing a little bit. But anyway, that's something that I want to play around with a little bit today, I think. Adding more gradients to characters helped me a lot in picking pleasing colors. Yeah, I think it definitely definitely makes sense for skin tones, right? Because skin has so many little hue shifts. That's kind of, that's cool. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. I love me some color jitter. I like hue jitter a lot. I haven't used a lot of jitter in my brushes. I honestly, I'm not even sure I know how to use it. Oh, I meant character skins like outfits. Oh, gotcha. Oh, wait, let me reread that. Okay, Sarah says, adding more gradient to characters helped me a lot in picking pleasing colors for character skins. Oh, okay. I see. Should have been more. Nah, it's all good. I mean, I think both. I mean, I think technically you could do that for skin tones too, which is lots of little gradients. But I take your point. Yeah, I think that's is one of the. I mean, just getting my stylus caught in my plugs. But no, that's like probably my. I mean, that has literally been my secret tip when people are like, "How do you pick colors?" And I'm like, "I blend them." Like it's literally just you're making gradients, you know? You take a warm color and you blend it into a different color. And then you can take another color and you can blend that into this one. And then you just now you have a gradient of all these nuanced little colors, and you can treat that as your color palette, you know? Like now you have all these nice nuance, and now I could pick like, you know, this and these, and like these are all good shadow colors. Maybe slap some blue in there, and you're like, okay, now you've got some shadow colors in there, and then now we get some light. Oh, we can even make this more of a gradient up here. And then pretty soon it's like, okay, well, here's my light colors, and like, hey, what do you know? You got a whole color palette, you know, and that would work. And or you could do something like shift half of this towards green and the other, you know. And this is one of the reasons why I think, you know, glow dodges and stuff are so nice, is because they affect every color. And so if I make a mark like this, all of these colors, there's that gradient remains, but it shifts them all slightly differently. So you get like, look at all these colors in there, and there's different things happening. So like this could be a color palette. Um, so yeah, that's so yeah, gradients and color shifting and all that. Definitely worth doing. I don't really like talking about art stuff in terms of tips and tricks. It's always a little hokey. But I do think in terms of like allow yourself to do lots of color mixing, because I mean it really is easy to get stuck in a mindset of sort of just like, I'm gonna just focus on value, right? And so you're like, oh well, okay, well even though I'm focusing on, even though I'm painting with color, this is gonna be my dark value, and before you know it, it's one solid shape. You know, this is gonna be my medium value. Before you know it, it's one solid color, and there's no gradient, right? And I find just taking a moment and messing up your colors, right? So you, okay, well here's my painting, or here's my layout of my you know, of my colors, my foreground, midground, background. But before I get there, let me just come in here and mix in some additional color into here, mix in some additional color into here, you know, maybe something like this. And then now you start to already get just like a much wider variety of colors, and yeah, I find that to be so much more pleasing. Stuff like that. Breaking news: artist doesn't like talking about art stuff. No. That's not what I said. I specifically was talking about tips and tricks. You know, like this one easy thing is gonna make your art great. Like, I think that's kind of not how it works. But I do think spending some time to messy up your colors and get a variety in there can just go so far. It can really give you like a good jumping off point. I mean, people recommend this with like sketchbooks, right? They recommend it like messing up the first page, just kind of get it flowing. I think it's just like, it's not quite the same, but it does a similar effect. Oh, welcome Raiders! Yow Tari. I don't think have you raided us before? I feel like this is a new person raid. Yow Tari, how are you? Nordigus, welcome in. People are probably stuck in. Oh, Casey's in here. Casey's coming in with the raid. Or maybe Casey's not coming with the raid. Casey, were you already here or you're coming with the raid too? Eow Tari says hello, hello. Here, let me do the how do I emote? Feel like an old person. Hold on. Jay Stiller. Yeehaw. French art raid. Oh, nice. It's a French art raid. I don't know any French. Uh-oh, I spammed that on the wrong thing. Okay. But yeah, I don't know any French, but welcome in, everyone. Hope your stream was going well. What were you working on today? Feel free to share. Do the art text. Oh, like water? E-A-U. Oh. Do you pronounce it O? I don't know. I don't know French. My French syllables I am terrible with. I don't know how to say French syllables and combinations of letters. That was one thing when I was trying. I'm doing Duolingo on for German. And like that's probably was the hard, it still is one of the hardest things, is knowing what sounds certain combinations of letters make, because oftentimes they're just so different than the combinations of sounds in like English. And I'm very pattern recognition-y, and it's really hard to break those when I see a thing and I just think I know it. But yeah, okay, so Otari. Your name is so hard to pronounce for English speakers. Yeah, like the B-E-A-U, you know, bow, I think is what it is. Like, that's a really hard word for me. So many, I mean, I know a lot of English speakers who really struggle with the E-A-U ending. You also happened to be talking about it in a chat the other day. Oh, nice. Did you take French in high school? That's cool. I took Spanish in high school, which I don't regret. I think it was the right choice given the Spanish-speaking population around where I live. But I do wish I would have, in some ways. I feel like Spanish would have been easier for me to learn on my own, and something like German would have been easier to learn in a classroom, because I don't know any, well, I do know people who speak German, but I didn't in high school, right? And so having a class of people trying to speak it would have been better for me, and I feel like it would be nice to learn a European language. Just, I don't know, like, just seems nice. But anyway, yeah, oh, Tari, what were you working on? Try Polish? No, I'm trying to learn German. I've been doing I'm going on almost 2 years now of, like, you know, it's just Duolingo, so it's not like I'm learning very quickly. I know some vocab here and there, but yeah, it's slow. But anyway, this is not a language stream. This is an art stream. Technically, art is a language. It's a visual language, so that's not. I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, you were redrawing your profile picture. What are you doing? I am painting blobs of color, and then I pick one and then turn it into environment. So we do a lot of environment painting. That's pretty much all I do is environment painting. And yeah, so we start out with doing things like this, where we do lots of little thumbnails, then we pick one, and then we turn them into stuff. So, like, for example, here. Nope, that's not the painting. That's a work in progress. This is the painting that it turned into. I think that's it. So yeah, we do stuff like this, where we sketch out lots of little ideas and concepts, and then we pick one, and then we work on it. We don't typically have a theme, so like last stream or a couple, let's see, was it last stream? No. Let's see. I'm trying to find one that is more like what we're doing today, because we're using lots of colors. Stuff like this, right? So here's a bunch of colorful blobs, you know, there's a random stuff kind of. And then yeah, and then we just pick one and then we paint on it. So sometimes it turns into a nice little scene. Sometimes there's a, you know, a little bit of story or something. Sometimes there's not. most of the time it's just having fun painting and hanging out together, making art, kind of a working together stream slash podcasty slash, you know, hopefully it's a little bit ranty. I like to ramble about art stuff. Wow, really cool. Blobs is awesome. Thanks. Yeah, and so today I'm obviously, you know, making it very colorful. Lots of colors today. Joe is amazing. Yeah, I am. No, I'm kidding. I don't. No. Thank you. You guys picked a good raid target. Thanks, Casey. I appreciate it. I don't think I'm amazing, but I try to not. I don't know. I try not to suck. That's a terrible. I feel like that's a terrible thing to say, but no, I don't know. Thanks, I guess. See, even he admits it. Yeah, totally. No, but yeah, I appreciate you coming in and rating. And if you want to share any art, drop a link to your Instagram. I'd love to see what you were working on, or what you've done in the past. The least humble streamer. No, I feel like I'm normally pretty humble, but not today. I don't know. We were talking about, like, earlier today about, like, you know, doing something simple or getting an easy win and just, like, being nice to yourself. I think sometimes admitting, like, yeah, you know what? I'm pretty happy with where I am. Stuff like that can be good. Although if you do it too much, it can sound like you're a maniac. So don't do it too much. Even if you don't really believe it. Although, maybe don't lie to yourself either. I don't know. I don't really believe it. Like, I think... it's not really a thing I think about, to be honest. So that's weird. Okay, weird topic. Sorry, I'm already leaving because I'm so tired. Yeah, no worries. It's late. Glad to discover your channel. Yeah, thanks for popping in. Thanks for the raid. Thank you for bringing your community over, and hope everyone is having a good weekend. Have a good Sunday. I know today's Saturday. Technically, it's probably not for you, right? No, wait. If you're French, then it is 10. No. 9? It's 9. 9 p.m. That's late. It's getting late. It should be, I believe, if my time zone calculations are correct, it would be 9. I think most of Europe is 9 o'clock right now, right? 3 hours till midnight. I only know that because 3 p.m. 3 p.m. is midnight in Europe and it's 12 p.m. for me. And then Skittle is 1 hour later. Wow, you really are learning German. That was a bad 9 joke. I didn't even know that was... I had no idea what you were referring to. That was a bad joke. Okay. Yeah, CET is 9 p.m. right now. Wait, so Skittle, I always forget. Are you 1 hour later or 1 hour earlier? You're 1 hour earlier, right? You're 8 p.m.? See, now I don't know. Now I'm confused. I always forget where Skittle is. I mean, I know where Skittle is, but I always forget what time. For some reason, Skittle's the hardest. You're 1 hour earlier. Okay, so you're at 8 a.m. Okay. Or p.m. Gotcha. Ooh, okay, Art Station. Oh, what is this? Anarchist is sharing some art. Is this... Whose art is this? I just clicked a link. Is this your art, Anarchist? It's very nice art. It's mine? Ah, it looks good. Yeah, I wasn't sure because the name, there's nowhere on it says your name, but yeah, all good. Oh, I like this. I like the colors. Also, I really like the character with the teal colors, the blues and the greens, and then the latest one, the face, the portrait. I like this. I'm gonna give you a follow. I don't really look at ArtStation that as much as I should. Do you guys get like the constant spam and scam requests both in DMs and emails based on ArtStation? It's like, "Hi, we found your profile through ArtStation. I would love for you to apply to our job." And I'm like, "No thanks. That's not, it's just like some mass garbage email." I hate those things. Anyway, but yeah, I've been not using ArtStation a lot lately. It's been, I don't know. I should at least take a peek here and there more often. You don't think you've ever? Oh, see, I oh my gosh, somebody has my name or something. But yeah, I've gotten them via ArtStation quite a bit, and it's ridiculous. You've never made an ArtStation account? I always make accounts pretty much everywhere, just because I like to reserve my name. I even like to go to platforms that like I know have an awful reputation, because like I just want to secure my name. That way, no one ever like makes an account with my name on like some other platform. So yeah, if there's like a platform that I know is taking off, I'll go and make my account. Although I don't know, have I ever made a TikTok? I don't know if I have. Somebody could technically go and make a TikTok with my name right now. Don't do it, please. That would be really mean. That would be mean. And you wouldn't do that, right? Go on the internet and be mean. But yeah, that's a thing. ArtStation and DeviantArt keep giving me scam messages all the time. Yeah, same. Is ArtStation good for that? For scams? Yeah, it's great. No, ArtStation, you've gotten your last 2 jobs thanks to ArtStation. Ooh, nice. So, Sarah, what is your process? Are you applying via ArtStation, or are they contacting you because of your stuff that they see on ArtStation? You had to delete your email from ArtStation contact info because of those spam emails? Yeah, they really are annoying. I mean, I find a lot of recruiters browse ArtStation to find good artists. Yeah, no, ArtStation is definitely a good place to post art that is like industry ready. It definitely is still the place that people browse, right? So it is good, but it's not really. I don't know. I don't really get ArtStation other than just as like a portfolio site, which is fine. I mean, I guess if you have art that you would want to share, might as well post it to ArtStation. What's the worst that could happen? Mostly just lucky. Last job recruiter from a company searching stylized art, according to his words, and the DW recruiter said, the DreamWorks recruiter said she saw your car studies on there. Not sure how she got my info link initially. Oh, interesting. Plus it's your only portfolio site, because I've tried making a Wix site before and it's just a massive pain to keep updated. Yeah, I don't have a professional website, and I feel like I should have one. So when I apply for jobs or send cold email, I use that link. Yeah. Yeah, that is smart. I need to update. I should update my ArtStation. I've just been really bad. Oh, so what am I doing here? Hold on. I am making a mess of things. Let's back up. Back up. Arting. Focus on the art. Me. This is my self-talk. ArtStation perfectly fine as a portfolio? Yeah. I think that's the nice thing. It has a reputation of being like the most professional sort of portfolio site, so it definitely works. But I still think there is something nice to having, like, a website. I don't know. Especially if you're going sort of, like, I feel like the route that I'm going in a way, well, I don't know what route that is. Um, I don't know. It would be nice, though. But, yeah. Okay. You used to be a web designer, so it's relatively easy for me. Yeah. I definitely think well, that's the thing, right? With the whole ArtStation spam nonsense that I've encountered, what sucks is because it's via email. If it was just like random DM, I mean, I get random DM spam stuff on ArtStation too, uh, like you do on DeviantArt. It's obviously way worse on DeviantArt, but I actually don't mind that because those are easy to ignore. Ignore. I don't know why I said that word that way. But through email, it's like you almost have to consider like oftentimes it's like an actual person. Oh, everybody gets DeviantArt spam. DeviantArt is the worst for it. DeviantArt is like a new spammer a day, literally. Like I'm not even. Let's go to it right now. Let's just do an experiment. Let me go to my DeviantArt and pull it up, and let's see. I'm gonna do it on stream. Make sure there's nothing super inappropriate here. Oh, wait, log in. Am I not logged in? Authentication code. Well, at least they are asking for me to authenticate. Okay, I'm not gonna sign in right now because screw that. But I don't know. Apparently, it signed me out. But yeah, no, I used to get a like. So I rambled about this the other day. DeviantArt is particularly bad because their whole user interface is so terrible. They have, if you click, okay, so if you click the envelope or whatever to like your mail, your messages, it'll take you to your messages, like your DMs. But there's also a chat function, and if you have to like hover over it and then drop down and hit chat, which is just kind of a pain. And all the spammers will message you through chat. It's not actually like an actual message or like their email-ish system. It's more, it's like not a DM. It's like a private chat. It's like a separate thing, which is really weird. And you can't report people in it. So you just have all this spam nonsense asking like, hey, I'll pay you $500 for a whatever. Like somebody was like offering like $16,000 in Ethereum for an art piece. I'm like, okay, obviously it's garbage, but like they just come out of the woodwork everywhere. It's just people nonsense trying to get a bite. They're just constantly trying to find some unsuspecting person to like pull one over on and like thinking they're gonna make some money, and then they do this thing and then they're out of money because they got scammed. Like it's just everywhere, but there's not even a good way to report them. No. So so there's notes and then there's chat. Notes are like the email, right? That's like the permanent. There's like an inbox, you can kind of manage it, but then there's like a chat system which is separate from notes. No, it's not new, it's just hidden, and it'll show a red dot if you have it. It's very stupid. Nope, it's not just notes. If I could log in right now without having to pull out my phone, which is across my apartment and I don't want to get up, I could show you, but it's very much not, and it's an awful feature. Yeah, DeviantArt is going downhill, I think. I mean, it's been downhill, but I don't know what's wrong with them. I really, really want to like DeviantArt because I do think it is uniquely positioned in the market in that it is like the beginner, all-inclusive friendly platform. Right, if you're an artist and you want to throw up your sketches, regardless of what you draw, you want to throw them up online, DeviantArt is a good place. Well, in theory. Whereas like ArtStation, probably not for a beginner, right? Instagram isn't really an art platform, right? There isn't really an art platform for total beginners, right? And DeviantArt is like, hey, you want to meet other people just like you and you're starting on your journey and having fun? Like, DeviantArt could be that. But then they went some really weird routes that I don't know what they were thinking. I actually applaud them on some of their choices, but then the other ones were so counterintuitive that are just like, what is happening? And it's they were trying some things and then they let them fizzle out when I still think they could have been good. I don't know. I think you can go to Kara now if you don't want to be on DeviantArt. I think Kara though is like I don't think Kara was competing with DeviantArt really. I mean, maybe it is. I think it was competing with ArtStation. And I wish Kara would win over ArtStation because I think ArtStation kind of sucks, especially with their stances on AI. Like ArtStation was also like they actively sell AI asset packs, which is super annoying. And they promote AI garbage as well. So like ArtStation isn't great either for that. In fact, ArtStation was one of the first to really have a problem with it, and DeviantArt actually came out and was like, here is our stance, and ArtStation was just radio silent. So like, there's a lot of reason to not like how ArtStation handles stuff either. And I actually think Kara could have been the competitor to ArtStation. It had kind of a professional vibe. A lot of the people who initially went over were like some of the big names. And unfortunately, I think it's kind of swaying back, and people are like, this car thing's not really panning out. Let's go back to ArtStation, which is kind of a shame. I wish I like the look of Kara, and I think it does everything ArtStation does quite well. So I actually wish it kind of won out, but I don't think it is. I don't know. Maybe there's still hope. Well, I don't think ArtStation actively sells it, says Sarah. I think they just unfortunately don't crack down on individual users selling them. Well, yeah, that's the big thing. And they don't have the infrastructure to like either report it properly or like it's clearly been a thing for years and they have done nothing. Right? And this is one of the things that I've actually sort of applauded DeviantArt for, is that they actually have taken a stance. I may not agree with their stance, but they at least have a stance, and they've started to go in a direction. They've made some really bizarre choices in the directions they've gone, but at least they're not being like, let's just bury our heads in the sand and pretend it doesn't exist. They're like, nope, here's our stance, and they do like, yeah, I mean they are fully embracing AI on their site. They have at least given users the ability to filter stuff out. So, props to them. They recognize that some of their users don't want to see it, and they've given them the tools to not see it. They even, so that's good. But they also like actively promote users and who are selling AI and like, say, look how much this AI user is making. Like, they literally hang it over your head and being like, hey, you should make AI art. So they clearly are on some level pro AI, right? And that's not good, in my opinion. At least not in the way that they're doing it in any way. ArtStation is just like, what is our stance? Like, the users at one point were totally like, no to AI and all that, but then ArtStation just didn't do anything, and they were like ban people whenever they voiced their opinion. Like, ArtStation was actively fighting its users. They've had a lot of weird controversies. So I'm not a fan of ArtStation. I think their management is awful, almost as bad as DeviantArt. Probably worse, to be honest. DeviantArt just makes weird choices, but ArtStation, they seem to think inaction is a valid choice, and it seems to be like the worst of the choice. Like, there was the whole Ukraine thing, like 2.5 years ago, 3, I don't know when it started. When people were like actively getting banned for posting anything with Ukraine colors. Like, they had so much messed up, like, weird, like, cracking down on certain types of, like, what was happening. They've had some weird... It wasn't just with AI, though. And then, like, the whole no AI tag things, they were... They were doing lots of... They've had some really bizarre managerial choices. Yeah, they've had some drama over the years. I don't know. Like, this is kind of why I was hoping so much that Kara would take over, uh, because it kind of was doing the same thing, but I felt it was, especially since being pro-Ukraine wasn't even controversial at all. Yeah, no, they were like, I don't know if it was like, I mean, I don't want to like spread misinformation. I don't know if it was like Russian backed or something, but it was, yeah, they were doing some weird stuff, and like it was not ideal. Yeah, definitely not a controversial take, at least in the US. Um, but yeah, so that was a thing. But anyway, that's all that the social media drama. It's I don't feel like any of the platforms are. I feel like the worst platforms are the biggest ones, which I kind of understand. I mean, the bigger the platform you are, the more money you need to make to stay afloat, which means you have to start resorting to taking either ad revenue or payments from other people, like individual backers, or you have to start monetizing stuff in some other way. And then, you could run into the DeviantArt problem, which is they are just monetizing the crap out of everything. Or you could run into ads and stuff. Like, I think there's a lot of I think it's tricky. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, it's an easy problem, but yeah, definitely it seems like the bigger and the more mainstream the art site, the worse it is. Whereas a site like Kara, when it's small, it seems to be working really well and it is really nice, but just doesn't have the user base. But alas, I mean, I don't think users' own websites are good for discoverability. Do you? I feel like it's more of a... I don't even know. It's more of like an all-in-one place. You can link someone as your portfolio, and if they Google you, it'll pop up. Like, I think it's more of a... And you can also do like mailing letters and collect emails. So anybody who comes to your website, you can sort of log it and track it, and you can sort of collect your own data, which is good because if you want to send out mailing addresses or promotional stuff, like, it's nice to have a way that you can grow some following that is independent of social media. So it's definitely good for that, but I wouldn't say it discoverability. Like, most people who have thriving sort of independent art practices, if you want to call it that, use social media a lot to drive traffic to their site in some way. But I don't know. I'm Oh, discoverability by recruiters, like they can browse ArtStation. I don't know how they would browse an entire web for an individual artist. Yeah, I think it's more if you know the artist exists, you can then find where they sell prints. You can contact them. You can see what they've been up to. You can look at their different works. Like, it's kind of an all-in-one shop for that artist. So like, if you know, like, oh, I wonder what Loish is up to, you can go find her website probably, and you can see all of her, you can buy all the books she's had in the past, all in a tidy section. You don't have to be like, scroll down 300 posts on Instagram to like find the most recent thing she's made. I think there's a lot of yeah, having your link tree, yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's paint another one of these. Another thumbnail. Let's get some green in here. We're going colorful today. That's the name of the game. Colorful. You just update. I need to update my link tree. I don't even know what's on it. I think I did update it a while back with Blue Sky. Speaking of which, if people have Blue Skies and they want to socials, here's socials. There's my socials. Some of them. That list is so long. Oh my goodness. What a long list. I need to, like, figure out which ones. This is why I think all of that could just be a link tree comment. This one link tree thing, rather than just listing all the social. Do I even have a link tree? I think I do. It goes to deleted Google Doc. Man, staying up to date with stuff is hard. I will say there are days though where I have no energy to do anything, and I will just suddenly I'll start updating stuff, and it's kind of fun. Like there's sort of like a managerial, like I'm being productive, but in a really low energy way, and it's kind of every once in a while doing that stuff is kind of fun. I maybe fun's not the right word. I don't know. You know what I mean? But yeah, I do need to update it. Is it weird that I haven't heard of DeviantArt until like 8 months ago? I have been art obsessed since I was like 6. Well, I don't know how old you are, so you could be like 7. But I don't know if it's that weird. It's not talked about a lot because it has some weird... It has like a weird taboo-ish audience. Like it has a... It's very weird. DeviantArt's strange. Paninky Dinky, hello! Welcome, Raiders! Thank you for being here. Hope you're doing well. How's the Saturday going? Yeah, no, I don't think it's weird. People haven't been talking about DeviantArt a lot. I'm gonna put some funky yellow, some olive color. Also known as dark yellow. You're the first artist who still use it, to be honest. I mean, I hardly use it. I wouldn't call me using it. I don't think I use it. I have a DeviantArt, and I sometimes mention it because there have been points in time where the reach is surprisingly a lot, and it's to an audience that is very different than you would ever get on, like, ArtStation. Now, it's not a professional audience, but if, like, for stream, it wasn't bad, because I had a handful of people come over to Twitch from DeviantArt, because you have, like, a younger, enthusiastic art audience who wants to learn art, and then they see something that's like, oh, wow, I really like this art, and I would like to do something like this, and then they can find me on Twitch, right? And so there's sort of this... It's a very specific audience, or demographic, I guess you could call it, which is a little bit different than other places. So anytime there's a platform that has a different, like, you know, like, just a different audience than you might see elsewhere, there's sort of I think it's worth being there. You know, Twitter has its thing, you know, a lot of political people who like that and like drama. And then you have, you know, like, I mean, both Twitter and Instagram, for example, have a lot of, like, I don't know, just normal people who aren't into art, right? And then you have things like ArtStation those are like the people who are really into art and want it to be a career. But there isn't really a place that is like primarily for hobbyist artists just starting out, you know, like uploading their first sketches. There's not really a place like that other than individual Discords and stuff. And I think it's useful. I like that it exists. So I've always been kind of hopeful that, like, you know, you kind of have, like, in some ways, the next generation of artists oftentimes going to these sites first. And, like, there is an opportunity to, like, I don't know, bring them over to Twitch or bring them over to, like, I don't know, like, you could be the artist that this person grew up with, and they're like, oh, I followed your art as a kid and got inspired by your work. I think that's kind of cool, right? I think there's definitely, especially if you're like I don't even want to call it social media artist, which is kind of a gross term, but like there's definitely something about that, right? So anyway, that's kind of why I've always sort of held out for DeviantArt, because it did seem to be that place. Um, Whereas other social medias aren't really art focused. They do have a lot of art, but the only way you're gonna find it is if you're really, really good. Whereas, again, DeviantArt isn't about really being really, really good. It's kind of just its own thing. It's like, look at this fun OC I drew. Which, you know, is a thing. It exists. But yeah, no, DeviantArt kind of sucks now. That's okay. I was able to log in. Oh, let's see. I was able to log in to DeviantArt, and I had a folder of like 2 paintings I still like in that folder of 100 really old works. My sister always thinks it's weird that I never see memes or most news unless it's huge, because I only follow artists on Twitter. I mean, that's good though. News is overrated. And I don't say this like bury my head in the sand kind of thing. People, most of the news that I see are like, this person says they will do this thing. Why do I care what they say? Tell me when it happens, you know? Like, if I don't have any power over what that person does, why do I care what they say they're gonna do? Like, don't report to it like it's a sports match. Tell me when the court rules something, right? Tell me when things actually start happening. Don't just be like, this drama might happen. Why do I need to care? Why do I care? I mean, I'm not a part of that process. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm... Is that apathy? Apathetic towards it? I don't think I am. I just... It all becomes a lot. I don't really get it. I feel like keeping up to date with news as if it's a sports event, play by play, is just not important. Yeah, it just doesn't make my life better. Let's put it that way. I like to try to not worry about the crap. I mean, I don't typically get too down on that stuff anyway. There's a little bit, depending on what it is, I like my healthy dose of, or maybe unhealthy dose of doom scrolling internet drama. Like the latest stupid thing Elon Musk does or whatever. Like, I don't know, there's something enjoyable about it in a weird way. It's probably not good for my long-term health, so I do try to keep it at a minimum. But, like, I'll admit, when he was caught cheating in Path of Exile and breaking terms of service and completely doubled down on his garbage, and just, like, that, to me, was entertainment. Like, pure entertainment. It's good to be in the loop. I mean, is it, though? Is it? Maybe some degree, maybe a little bit in the loop. I mean, I think if the thing is actually important, it's good to be in the loop. The problem is that being in the loop most of the time just means all the unimportant stuff, right? Like when people are following court cases, like, tell me when there's a verdict, you know? Like, tell me when there's a decision, because I'm not changing that outcome. It's not a sports match. I'm not waiting for the next person to score a point and get, you know, ooh, it looks like they're gonna come back for a victory. You know, like, I don't need that. I want to just, you know, if I go onto Twitter, I want to see art. I want to see, you know, now I will admit I do use Twitter for a little bit of drama, and then Blue Sky is now my art place. So I've kind of switched. But yeah, I don't know. I think that people would be better off if they didn't consume as much sort of. And again, I hesitate to call it news, because it really is just more like headlines. Like, I don't think a headline about what someone says they're gonna do is actual news. I think when they actually do things and there's actual things happening, that's news. So-and-so said something isn't really news. Like, I don't know. It reminds me a little bit of in high school. There was we had a well, no, that's totally. I was gonna tell a story that was completely unrelated. Never mind. Stupid story. Back to art. I'm trying. What am I painting? Something like trees looking over a forest or something. Making some silhouettes here. Flipping the canvas a lot, probably making people dizzy. I like to flip the canvas. Gives me a slightly different perspective. It's news if you're part of an organization that can affect things. I mean, if it's not settled, though, it's not... Oh, you mean if you're part of an organization that can affect... Yeah. If you can actually do something about it, sure. Like, if something may happen soon, there's an organization that can use that info to try to prepare for it. True, but even then, if you don't know what's going to happen, actually doing actionable things in preparation for something that may not happen is tricky. But yeah, I agree. If you're an organization, it's totally... Yeah. Obviously, there are people whose jobs it is to know those things, right? And yes, those people should know, right? If your job requires you to be up to date with all the stuff, whatever it is, legal cases and things, then, or who you can and can't hire or whatever. Like, I don't know. There are people who that stuff is important for. But for me, it's not. And so, yeah, I think, and I think probably that my biggest thing against news, like social media news, is honestly, it's just the opportunity cost, right? It's the opportunity cost of, I could be doing literally anything else that is more productive. It's not to say it's 100% useless. There's always a thing you can find you can always point to some news and be like, see, look, it's kind of useful. But it's the opportunity cost of, like, I could be painting right now. I could be hanging out with friends and having a good time. I could be, like, forming real life connections with people. Like, so that's my thing, And again, I'm not like a big social person, and it's not like I'm doing all that stuff anyway, but most people aren't online on Twitter, Twitter is like such a tiny little thing compared to like most people. Most people are not clued into Twitter as much as artists who are constantly posting online. Yeah, I don't really try to have much screen time because I feel the need to keep up to date on everything. I'll probably hear about it within a few days, one way or the other. Yeah. Most of my life is screens, whether it's art or video games. Same. I relate to that. Alright, let's put some blues. These are very vibrant themes. Also, I don't like this. What am I doing here? Although I haven't been playing a lot of video games lately because my wrist has been hurting. So a lot of the games that I enjoy playing, like Path of Exile, I just can't play because there's so much like little tiny clicking, and it's the tiny little let me see what I'm seeing here. It's the tiny back and forth movement on my wrist. Just like over a long period of time, it really has started to hurt it. So I haven't been playing a lot of games that require like micro movements. If it's just like a thing I can click every now and then and mostly use ASD or ASWD, those games are much better. Technically, you can use ASWD for Path of Exile, and I do, but there's still a lot of clicking with your mouse to like pick up items and stuff. So it's a really tough game on my wrists, and I need to lay low on that. I actually played some Minecraft yesterday. I've been restarting my well, I didn't restart. I've been playing in my main survival hardcore world, and I'm trying to get all the achievements. Yeah, I'm a PC gamer. But yeah, no, I played some Minecraft yesterday, and I just like I've made a sort of it's been kind of fun. So every time I log in, I basically force myself to do at least like one in-game achievement, which is kind of fun because they get progressively harder as I knock out the easy stuff, and like pretty much all that's left for me is like the ancient city stuff, which is scary because I don't want to lose my world. And yeah, so but no, it's been a lot of fun. Just to go back and do things and I don't know, just kind of wander around or whatever. It's fun. I'm thinking about starting up a new Stardew Valley game though. I don't know, cause I haven't played. Just like cozy chill games is kind of what I've been in the mood for. What if this shape is like that? Just a weird. That looks like a dragon, a crocodile head or something. In my case, art or TV shows actually. Yeah, most of my online. I guess I also browse like Reddit, which is stupid. Although I will say it, my Reddit has been pretty good with like I've unfollowed all the major subreddits, so I mostly follow subreddits like science and certain things that I actually enjoy. But it's still a lot of drama and a lot of news works its way into any subreddit, so it's still not great, but sometimes you find a gem there because I feel like it's more than other social medias. Reddit at least has people trying to have discussions most of the time. Sometimes, actually, that's not true. Sometimes there are. Mostly they're just other people correcting people who are wrong. Or trying to, and then, I don't know. It's... I'm not sure how I feel about it, but sometimes it's interesting. It's terrible for art, though. It's not... I mean, actually, that's not true. It's probably good if if you do very certain stuff, like niche stuff, like... I don't know. I think it used to be really good for D&D. But yeah, right now what I'm doing, just to narrate my thought process here, I'm just trying to add some lighting onto some of this. I sort of started with like a gradient without much lighting, so I'm just adding little bits of light here and there, just trying to add some, yeah, just some lightness into the painting. Don't really know where this painting's going, but I do want to get a vibe, a mood that is nice. Actually, kind of think it'd be neat to do something like this. I don't know, something like that's kind of neat. Some weird tower thingies. It was trees, but now I'm changing it to be more towery. I don't know. That's a cool shape, I think. I like that. Maybe get some blue in here. They could be like rocks. I wonder if I've disconnected. Now I'm all like paranoid because last stream my OBS died and I had some technical difficulties. But no, I think it's working though. Okay, so there's a thumbnail. Let's do a couple more and then we'll vote. I'm liking these. I just want to make sure I'm keeping my brush moving today. That's one of my goals. Move the brush, have some fun, lots of marks. Maybe this one will start off with some big blobs. So wait, are more people PC gamers or console gamers? I actually don't know. I assume in the world more people are console gamers, right? Because, like, anyone can console game, and you don't have to, like, I don't know. I feel like it's, but I actually don't know. Does anyone know any stats on gamer statistics of like who are do more people console game or more people online, not online, PC game? You've always been console. You have a few small games on your Mac, but not many. Okay. Yeah, I assume console is the bigger one, but I don't know. I feel like PC, to me, just feels more accessible because then I need one, like, I have a PC because I need one, and so it just makes sense to play games on it. I bet there's some, in our world and data, I bet there's some stats there. That's a good site, by the way, if you guys don't know it. I think it's called Our World and Data. It's basically just any sort of, like, statistical analysis of pretty much anything. Anytime there's large amounts of, like, data, and it show, you know, people make graphs of based on things and studies, and it's pretty cool. There's a lot of neat, yeah, pretty much anything you could want to see that has data collected for it. I'm so used to using a joystick controller, I don't think I could ever be a PC gamer even if I bought a PC. I don't know if I've ever used a joystick in my life. Like an actual joystick? I don't think I've ever used one in my life. I mean, I guess I technically have, like, a game stick, like, for fighting games with, like, the buttons and the thingy. I've used those that look like this. They have, like, they're square, and then they have a joystick. They have, like, the joystick here, and then they have the buttons. I've used those, and then they have different buttons and stuff. I don't exactly know how they look. But yeah, that's the only thing I've ever used. I've never used an ergonomic. Oh, yeah, I don't think I've ever used one of those. Oh, a controller with joysticks. Okay, so like the thumb thingies? Yeah, I've used those. Okay. I'm such a boomer. I'm like, what's a joystick? Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, I'm not a console gamer. I like console games. I just don't have a good setup, right? I don't have a console or a TV. Literally no TV. So it makes it hard to console game. Ooh, what? This is kind of cool. What if... So this is like a something hanging. So it's like an upside down city. Like a reverse floating city. Hanging off the bottom side of like a... something. I don't know. Maybe not. I've never bought a TV. I've taken them all from my mom over the years. That's funny. Where does she just keep getting new ones and then you get the hand-me-downs? That's a good way to do it. I feel like TVs are one of those things where the tech hasn't really improved that much over the years. So, like, most TVs still work. So a lot of it's just, like, the size of the TV. Ooh, I have an idea. Yeah, the one I have now is one we had in her house in high school. She moved and got a better one. Nice. Yeah, there was actually a free TV in my lobby in my apartment building. I didn't take it because I didn't really have any intention to use it, and I don't like being, I don't know, greedy. Like, I don't really want to take it if I have no intention of using it. Hi, Joe. It's been a long time since I've tuned into your stream. Oxy, long time. How are you, Oxy? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I am still doing the same thing. So I guess to catch you up, lots of painting, lots of thumbnailing, coming up with ideas, chatting, hanging out, ranting, of course. We love our rants in here. But yeah, you're working on a piece. Oh, nice. What sort of piece are you working on? Feel free to share. I love seeing what people are working on. Miss those rants? Yeah. I mean, they're more just rambles. Sometimes, I guess it depends. It's a good mix of rant and ramble. I'll share it. Yeah, you can share it in Discord. Perfect. But yeah, hope you've been well. I'm trying to think how to make this look like it's... I mean, it doesn't really look like it's upside down. I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm just playing around. And sometimes this is what I like to do, is just play around, come up with stuff, and we can iterate on it. We can play around with different shapes, carve things out. Maybe there's like airships. I really like airships. I don't know if it's just like a Final Fantasy. It's not just Final Fantasy. Airships are real things, or like blimps are. But I've always really liked airships. They're just cool. Fantasy airships, they really are, aren't they? They're one of the coolest things. They're just neat looking. Yeah, they're just neat. I've been having a lot of trouble making that glass background for this one. Ooh, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Ooh, this is cool. I really like the colors. The colors you did with like the light and shadow. So the cool light with the warm shadows. That's really neat. And yeah, glass seems really hard. Well, good luck. I don't have any advice for painting glass. Glass is something that I'm not great at. But yeah, that's looking really good. That's neat. I really like. I feel like rarely properly utilized in games. There's something nice about the idea of flying without a giant heavy piece of metal using a bunch of jet fuel. Yeah, it's like like the wind. It's just sort of like this breezy, chill. It's slow and leisurely. It's not about getting from one place to the other quickly. It's like the perfect embodiment of the fantasy version of like enjoying the journey. It's like a cruise, you know? I mean, except cruises have their own problems, but it's like the fantasy version of a cruise, where it's just sort of this like, you're flying through the air, it's chill, it's slow, it's you know, you get to enjoy your stay while you're getting from one place to the other. And it's not all like hustle and bustle, and I don't know, it's just nice. The second best thing to flying on a dragon. Yeah, kind of like a wind in your hair. Yeah, it definitely has that vibe. I mean, I'm sure there are some like steampunk industrialized versions of it. I think even in like Avatar, the Last Airbender, right? They have a lot of like the Fire Nation type airship things that are very, you know, they're like heavy pollutants, and they just don't give you the vibe of like comfort, but either way, they're still pretty cool. Oh, I'm lagging. I'm lagging. Hopefully this isn't a sign of things to come. meaning things crashing. What if I take this? Why am I so laggy all of a sudden? What's happening? What in the world? Does this work? Big block-ins. I don't know if I like that. I feel like I need... Need is a strong word. I feel like I want some sort of... I think that could work. That work? I don't know. Not really. Kind of flubbing this one. But there is something fun about this vibe, though. I like the idea. I just don't know if this is gonna turn out good. Gotta think a little bit more about composition here. Because right now, my composition is awful. You've made an edit for the piece 2. You've sent it on Discord? Okay, let's take a look. Discord. Here we go. Where are you? Art. Sketch of the works in progress. Ooh. Oh, the color shifting. That's neat. Oh, that's cool. You're sliding through the gradients? That's cool. It's a looping video? Yeah, so you're color shifting the character. That's really neat. I like that. Okay, so speaking of composition, so if we have these here and here, I feel like we need some like, we could put some of the focal points here. So I'm trying to bring some of this light into here. So I'm actually going to darken some of this stuff and bring that light up. So that we have like the city lights up here. I don't know if this looks like a blimp of any type, but it's just trying to get some sort of color shift. The thumbnails you're working on looks like something straight out of Arcane. Really? Well, that's nice to hear, because Arcane is cool. I guess Arcane does have some airship stuff. This is like an upside down city, though. I don't think that's an Arcane thing. Maybe. I don't know. Try and make some interesting shapes back here. Some nice negative spaces. I think having these linking bridge thingies definitely make it look like it's a little more understandable what we're looking at. But anyway, there's something. And then maybe some, I don't know how to draw airship stuff, so we'll just draw some blimps. I'll look at blimps and stuff when we start to... Blimps and boats. I really like Final Fantasy airships. That they are like when I think of airships, I think of Final Fantasy. They've gotten really wacky over the years, though. They keep trying to outdo themselves. And so the airships get bigger and crazier. Atmospheric perspective. We got to get that in there. Important stuff. And maybe put some lights in here, too. I don't know. Do we want lights in the airship? Stuff like that. Anyway, there's something. I don't know if that's a good something, but it's a something. And yeah, there's a good 6 thumbnails. Oh, it didn't register that's an upside down city. Maybe some recognizable sea elements like big... Yeah, I'll have to do that. That'll be later. I'm not... Yeah, definitely. Well, it's not upside down, but it's like floating. It's like a floating city. Right? So the idea is like whatever floating island stuff up top. I mean, we could probably do some sort of like, you know, more stuff up here that would, you know, make it a little bit more clear that there's stuff hanging down. But yeah, that's kind of... But yeah, definitely some things like windows and, you know, houses and shapes, little shapes that would make the thing look like buildings on here. So yeah, definitely, the buildings themselves aren't upside down. The buildings would be nestled into these structures. So you could think of these as like giant hanging floating islands, and then the buildings themselves would still be upright, but it would be floating on the underside of a giant, I don't know, like if the Earth were flat, this might be the underside of the Earth if people lived on the underside and somehow gravity didn't exist, because none of that would make any sense. Anyway, yeah, that's... As much as I like conspiracy theories, has anyone ever tried to explain what they think is on the underside of the Earth and a flat Earth? Because I would be curious. Like, what's under there? I feel like that would be a fun world building thing. You have like an entire... I mean, I guess there is. There's that entire anime. Hatama Inverted, I think, is the name of the anime movie. It's pretty good. But it's like you basically have an entire world that lives upside down, and then they like... Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've seen that movie. I liked that movie. It was a good movie. It was very cool. It was cool. It kind of had a neat twist ending too, sorta. I thought it was a cool movie, for sure. Okay. Anyway, here's this. Yeah, let's vote. We are right on time too. We are cruising. We've got 6 thumbnails in 2 hours. You know, not amazing pace, but it's, you know, for talking and stuff. And trying to explain a little bit of my thought process as I go. I'm gonna save. And also go to straw poll. If anybody wants to vote, I will put the straw poll in chat in just a moment once I make it, and anyone can vote on multiples of these, so you can vote for one or multiples, and I will work on whichever one wins till the end of stream. I think it's pretty clear which one I want to win, but, you know. Okay. There's this. There's the straw poll. You can vote. Yeah. Also, don't forget to hydrate. Perfect time to hydrate. Hydration, hydration. It's good for you. I'm going to pin this to chat. 5 minutes. And then after this, we will do the daily connections in Wordle. I did not forget. I know that's why some people show up, is for the connections in Wordle. To save me from a failure, especially with connections. I feel like connections, we've been getting lucky lately. Or maybe chat's just good at giving me the answers. But yeah, Joe, which tablet do you use? Currently, I am using a large Intuos tablet. It's Intuos Pro Large, I think. Wacom Intuos. It's very nice. It sits right on my table. It does not have a screen. I had a Cintiq and it died, and I'm sad. I'm still sad because it was super expensive and it only lasted 5 years, which isn't bad. 5 years isn't a terrible, it's not a terrible lifespan for a tablet. But it was still expensive and it sucks. It sucks to lose a big tablet like that just for no good reason. And it should have been easier to fix, but I still have it. And in theory, somebody could fix it, but most like computer shops and stuff who fix things won't be able to fix it because it requires soldering work. And you pretty much have to send it back to the manufacturer to have them fix it, and that's super pricey, and it's just not worth it. I'm pretty sure it's a capacitor issue. So like if any, there was like a weird, like a guy on YouTube who fixed this exact problem, and people could send them their stuff and he would fix it. And like apparently he was like, and he would do it basically dirt cheap, just the cost of shipping and like a little bit of something, because it didn't take him that long, and he knew exactly what the problem is because he had it, like he solved it himself. And it's a little sketchy, but like I'm not ever going, I might do that because I could get my Cintiq repaired. I don't know how long it would last, but I'm never going to send it back to Wacom and have them repair it because they are asking like $800 or something for it, which why would I pay $800 to get a repair when I could just get a new tablet of something different for $800 that I know for sure is going to last? So yeah, I'm not going to pay $800 to get my Cintiq repaired. So I would rather pay $100 for shipping 2 ways and, whatever. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah. So I'm not going to, and it might even be more than that because yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a burnt out capacitor or something, because like the screen technically still works, but it's like everything is dark and you can't, I mean, it's completely black, so there is no like lighting at all, but it's like all of the backlighting has gone out and it's yeah. It stays on for like a few moments when you first turn it on, and then about, anywhere from 10 seconds to 5 minutes later, it goes out completely. Sarah says, yeah, I have a single key on my Mac right now that stopped working. Oh no. And I had the same problem with your last Mac before it broke down, and it's like 300 or so to fix it because they have to take out the entire motherboard. Yeah. I have a cute XP Pen tablet now. Oh, nice. Oxy says, I recently bought an XP Pen Artist 22 Plus. It's lower res than your iPad, but I really like it, and I got it for $450. Oh, nice. That sounds good. I'm not a big tech person, so I don't know if those are good or bad or what. Also, we are currently voting. We have a few more minutes left. If you haven't voted, you should cast your vote. I'm going to vote for 4, I think. I should have voted earlier, but... We are currently voting. I should have said that more because some people are just listening and they don't actually know. But yeah, if you want to vote, it's pinned to the top of chat. I'll put it in here again. Yeah, 4 is your favorite. Yeah, 4 I think is the most fun because it has a little bit of story to it. But, I think 2 could turn into fun. 5 could be fun. 1 could be fun. Any of them could be fun. They all have something. 6 is pretty barren. There's not a whole lot going on. 3, I'm not sure what it would be, but the colors are nice. Funny, I wasn't actually looking at the results, but yeah, 3 and 6 have 0 votes. The rest of them at least have 1. So that's pretty much what I would expect. Also, if I haven't said it earlier, because I know a lot of people have just joined recently, happy February. We're now officially no longer at the start of the year, so you can no longer say Happy New Year. Yeah, we're into February. That's kind of wild. I feel like January whizzed by. I don't even know where it went. Hopefully, and I did make one art piece. I actually rendered, well, a little bit of rendering, not fully rendered, but a little bit. So yeah, I actually did like a full painting. I at least did something in January. It wasn't a complete waste. But yeah. Plus I can use it as a second monitor. True. That is definitely the upside. January is the friends we made along the way, yes. Yeah, a second monitor is definitely the upside of having a screen tablet, is that it's always out of the way, because even when you're not using it, it's still a monitor. But I will say, I think for longevity, I think pen tablet is fantastic. Okay, we're working on number 4. But yeah, I think a pen tablet's fantastic because it doesn't really encourage you to bend over, like hunched over, because you don't have to look at it. You can just look straight ahead at your monitor, well, or straight down wherever your monitor is, and then you can comfortably rest your arm on your desk, on your tablet. And so you don't have to have like this weird, like, either you look down or you raise your arm. Like, you don't have to have both things aligned. You can just look ahead and paint. So it's definitely nice in that regard. So I'm glad I will probably forever use pen tablets. I still need a visual graphic on how people end up hunched over their screen tablet. I don't get it. Well, it's not that they end up hunched over. It's either that or your arm is raised for long periods of time and you're engaging muscles and tensing up your arm while your other arm is hanging down limp by your side, and that's just not a good posture to have all day. Right? You don't want to have like half of your body engaged and the other half not. That's not good for longevity. So it's either that or you're looking down. Your elbows resting on the desk? Wow. Oh, weird. Oh, see, that sounds like a really perfect setting. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't have good posture if you have a screen tablet. I just think it's a whole lot harder to get good posture because oftentimes it's either you're raised or you're not. I don't know. But anywho, let's do some painting. All right. Nope, not yet. First, we do Wordle. And the connections. How is your tablet raised? Mine's not. I'm saying when I had a screen tablet, it was raised. Because they're on a stand. Yeah, if you have an arm, some people have like arms, like ergonomic arm thingies for their tablet, and you can just move it exactly where you want. That would be pretty nice, but even then you're still probably, I don't know, I guess you could put it low enough. I don't know. I'm sure there's a way to do it correctly, but it would require for me, I feel like, a more intricate or precise setup. Which, quite frankly, I don't have a great setup, so that's probably why I don't want to have to, move it around. Yeah. The arm ones, I feel like, are harder to get low enough. It probably would be hard to... Yeah, I've never... Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. But anyway, I'm not too worried about it, because I don't have to worry about it, because I don't have one of those anymore. I have something that's much easier to get correct, right from the get-go. Okay, Sarah is posting a pic of her setup. Ooh. Workstation setups. Let me take a look. Okay, so this is the painting we're going to work on. Let's take a look at your workspace. We're all judging. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, so it's just literally sitting on your Oh, that's interesting. Also, it's really weird to see myself on the screen. Okay. No, that's cool though. So you have okay, so you have your tablet and your that's neat. That's a chill setup. Well, I like the ones your classmates, the one your classrooms in at school had. They were completely off the desk and always wobbled on the arm. Yeah, that would be weird. And it was hard to get it set completely on the desk. The L-shaped desk is nice. That is nice. Yeah, every time you go to draw a line, it just wobbles, and you just make a big wobbly line across your. That would be, yeah, that would not be good. I feel like you definitely need a rigid surface to draw on. Alrighty, I'm gonna speed run the Wordle, and then we're gonna do the connections and struggle. Feel free to help me with Wordle. So yeah, I'm gonna do the Wordle now. If anybody wants to give me a 5-letter word, the first one I see in chat is what I'll go with. 5-letter words that are appropriate. Nothing inappropriate. No lewd words. Yeah, those with class. Oh wait, yeah, those with those classroom ones, it was impossible to rest your arm on anything, so it was super hard to have control because you'd have to actively engage your arm to keep it raised the whole time. Yeah, mouse. M-O-U-S-E. Spork. Now we're going mouse. Okay. We could do paper. P-A-P-E-R. We can do paper and mouse because we have an E. I don't like paper because there's 2 P's in it, and the likelihood that it's a complete whiff is not great. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not great, but that's okay. We've eliminated some letters. I'm glad it's not ER though. So it could be like R repel, like an. No, it can't be repel. It could be something like R-E-L. No, probably not. Is there any R-E-L words? R-E-T. E-N? It could be an E-N word. Renee? Rennet? Is that a word? That's not a word. Beret. Oh, I like beret. B-E-R-E-T. I mean, now we're guessing double E's. This is just we're not doing real good here. But let's try beret. Okay, well, it is E-T, so that's good. R blank blank E-T. Rid. Wait, okay, we gotta get this in 4, right? Because there aren't that many ET words. It could be like... And there has to be an I think. So it probably isn't something like... Freet? That's not... Freet. No, there's no second E. There's probably like an I here. Rivet. Rivet? Is that how you spell rivet? It's rivet. I don't think there could have been another word there. That wasn't bad. I think we tried rivet a few months ago or days ago. No, we didn't. I don't think the answer was rivet a while back. I think we guessed it a while back. Yeah, 4 is not bad. That was pretty good. Okay, let's do connections. What is a rivet? A rivet is like a little dimple thingy that like it it's like it holds pieces of metal. Think of it as like I think I don't know, is a rivet like a not like a nail? You might call it's like the I don't know. I don't exactly know what a rivet is, but they hold things together, I believe. We could Google it in a moment. Joe, how do you break down textures? Could you? Oh gosh, I am not a good texture person, but I can show you how I break down textures. Sure. But first, let's do connections. This goes real quick. The way this works is oh, there's I see words here. Tone, hue, shade. I don't know what the other. Anyway, I see art words here. Okay. But yeah, so the way this works is there's 4 categories of 4 and they all are connected. So we could do like shade, tone, hue, pose, alibi, dispute, tinge. That's probably one. I feel like that has to be an and. I don't know who used the word tinge. It's a weird tinge. It's a weird hue. It's like they all relate to color. So these probably one. And then there's definitely some sort of detective thing here. I mean, there's literally detective, but like detective, clue, suspect, alibi, question, but there's 5 there, so I don't know. Match, tint. Yeah, but a tinge is still a word. Tinge is a color thing. I think it has to do with like a weird tinge. Yeah, it's like a... I mean, it's not like an official color thing, but I think it's a word that I don't really know what it means, but I think it relates to color. If something has a tinge, yeah, tone, tinge. I mean, these are not like art words, but they are words that relate to colors in some way. Yeah, I don't really know what tinge means, but I'm pretty sure it goes with those. Maybe not. Maybe it's a red herring and these are all parts of different categories. I don't know. Clue, dispute, a challenge and a dispute are kind of the same thing. Like you're challenging something, you're disputing something, you're uh, uh, questioning something, you're contesting. Match, clue, suspect, question. Oh, that's different than what I said. Clue, suspect, question. Well, so that would work, but so would alibi. Dispute, challenge, question, contest. It could be what you said. But here's another thing, though. If we go with that, though, there definitely are detective words, right? Like suspect, detective, question. But then there's also like alibi, which are like just words that you would have in like a police drama. Like you find a clue, you have a suspect, and they have an alibi, or I don't know. I'm not quite sure what that one's doing. Contest. I do think this one though. Dispute, challenge, contest. What was the other one? Question. Contest. Question. Challenge, dispute. Okay, so if we go with this, then hue, tone, tinge, and shade are still in there, so that's good. I'm trying to go in reverse order and get the hard category first. I'm pretty sure this would be the easy category. Pose. So what if now that we have question out of here though, could we then just say that clue, detective, suspect, and alibi are another category? So like maybe question was like the red herring in there. So is detective, suspect, alibi, clue, is that a category? Because if that is, then that's all of them. Then the remaining ones are chord. What are the remaining ones? Chord, deal, pose, Match? No, wait. Challenge, question, contest, dispute. Is that... What are these then? Is this the last one? Chord, pose, deal, match. You could pose a question, match a question? No. Deal cards? Like, card deal, card pose, card match? No. I mean, match stick? Deal stick? Pose stick? Nope. Match... you could strike a chord, strike a deal, strike a pose, strike a match! That's it! You can strike these things. Strike a match, strike a pose, strike a... Okay, that's it. We got it. Good job. I was like, what is the connection here? There's definitely something. Big brain? Well, there is definitely something. I just didn't know what it was. Okay. So then what do we think the next hard category... I mean, I guess the order that we did it, right? So question... Nope, not... What was the detective one? Suspect, alibi, detective, clue? Suspect? No. Challenge, dispute, question, contest. Yeah. Oh, dang it. I thought that would be blue. I'm getting... The blue and the green are hard for me. I don't really understand the difference. Question, contest, dispute, challenge. This should be blue? That's weird, though. Okay. And then we get that. Nice. We did it. We did it. Dang, my percentage is going up. When I started these back like a year ago or whatever, I was in like the 50s. I was so bad at these. I had no idea how to do them. I'm getting way better at them now because I'm starting to understand the game logic a little bit. Okay, but back to painting. Let's do some art. Big brain? I don't know about that. I just now know that whenever I make it to the purple category, I just start having to, like, take a word and add another word to it. And, like, yeah, it's something. Okay. So here is this. So let's find some references for blimps, cities, various things. I don't really want to search for airship, although I will. Oh my god, so much AI. Oh no. So much AI. It's everywhere. The first time I ever did connections, I thought they would all be that they add a word strategy, and then it wasn't that time, and I was sad. Oh no. Yeah, typically the add a word strategy is only for the hardest category. The yellow I think is always synonyms, and the add a word but purple isn't always add a word. Sometimes it's like homophones or other weird things. Or like, you know, things that associated with Batman, or like, and you have, you know, just things that are not super obvious, like cape, car, Joker or something. It's like, oh, what's the connection? But yeah. Alright, I'm going to open up a pureref file. Synonyms for butt with a single letter missing for some cursed reason. Dude, right? What a weird category. That was like diabolical. Who would ever, like, yes, that's the thing that's gonna pop into my head. I just happen to be like that was actually the category, wasn't it? God, I hate AI so much. There's so much... Look at this. There's so much garbage. Like, I'll admit there are some qualities of this that are almost cool, but it's just such a mess of junk. Like what even is any of this? What is happening? Like, I mean, I think it's fine to mishmash things together, but like, this isn't even nice looking. The shape is Like, it's awful. Nothing about that is good. Stupid AI. It can go away, please. Some qualities that were stolen from somewhere, you can now never find this. Right? Like, there's probably somebody who did a really cool amalgamation type, like, busy mishmash of things, and it's just gone. Okay, let's see. Blimp. We're just gonna type in blimp. Real blimp. Are there canvas blimps? Canvas blimp. No. What's blimp made out? Like Final Fantasy airship. Like you know the canvasy looking material where it's like a this color? What is that? Like how do I search that? I guess like hot air balloons. It could just be any like hot air balloons. Hot air balloon. I just think canvas. Yeah, I thought so, but maybe not. Maybe canvas is too heavy. Maybe it's a little lighter. Like, I really don't want anything too fancy. I'm just looking for, like, the structure of, you know, the rings of how you might connect these together. I mean, I think there's just, like, things going a long way like this. Probably. I mean, that's probably how it is. And there's probably little thingies here to hold stuff to. You know, probably something like that. But I'm just looking for something that would, like, straps. I guess, like, anything that sort of straps something to another thing. So, like, train straps. That's probably a really good reference, actually. So, like, because they tie freight onto trains, and so they use straps that are easy to undo. Or, like, truck straps. Truckers use them too, right? On, like, the side of stuff. Truck tarp straps. Because truckers will like tie things down, right? They have stuff like this. Here, let me show you. They'll have stuff like that. I don't know if you can see that properly. This, right? So they'll have these things, like they have canvas and tarps and straps. This is just nice because then you can kind of see how things are connected, and I don't know, I like that. I think it's useful. Not that I'm gonna be zooming in that far, but if you want some, like, I don't know, there could be something there. Potentially. Oxy says, okay, I think I will go to sleep now. See you next time. Have a great time arting, you guys. Thank you so much for being here, Oxy. Have a good night. Always good having you pop in. You know we don't see your screen, right? Oh, well, now you do. I didn't know which screen you could... I mean, I do know which screen you could see, but... yeah, okay. So there's that. Have people made real airships that function? I mean, I know there's, like, the Hindenburg. There's, like, there are big blimps and big things like that, but are there any, like, ones with, like, big platforms, kind of like a hot air balloon, that function? Anyway, I don't know. I feel like most of it's fantasy and made up anyway, so I can just go from there. I think I'm mostly going to be focused on like having caps to stuff. Maybe we will do like the we could do like a big tarp over here. I do like the idea of having these sort of tarps draped over and then tied down, so you have stuff like that would be kind of neat. So you could almost think of this thing as like the load of this vehicle, and the top of it could be like a different color. Something like that. And then of course we want boats, right? So we like old wooden boats. Okay, these boats are extremely cool. I really hope they're not fake, because they look awesome. Here, I'll show them on my screen in just a moment. Look at that. Are these not the coolest boats you've ever seen? I hope they're real. They definitely are neat. They're just old, and they have all the colors, and the underneath here where the water hits, you get all those cool colors. I think that's super cool. They're like a weird flat shape. Those are definitely real. Yeah, they look like it. They're weird enough that I don't know how they wouldn't be real, because I feel like an AI would struggle with this stuff. Yeah, it definitely looks real. No, they're really neat though. I like them a lot. Also just like old boats like this are nice. That actually, I don't know. I'm just now so skeptical anytime I find a reference. But okay. I'm not. I think stuff like this might be fun. I don't know if the flat shape will look good, but I do like the weathered material. Maybe you get some of those colors in there of like blues and teals and like planks going sideways, so you have like different off-colored stuff. That could be kind of neat. All sort. Yeah, that's a cool reference. I have a boat board in case this helps. It's big metal ships so far, but a few wooden and smaller ones. Oh, let's take a look. I always like your Pinterest boards, mostly because you put effort into it, which I think is cool. Ooh, wait, is this? Okay, yeah, this is neat. Ooh, I like the little connector bits and stuff. Wait, am I looking at the right thing? Maybe. I don't know if I'm looking at the right thing. Maybe I am. But anyway. But yeah, no, some of these are very cool. Thank you for sharing. Boat ships. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. I am just going to start painting, because I think at this stage I still have a lot of stuff I can do. And so I think just plopping in shapes, designing stuff in a way that is fun, and I do like the scrap together idea and sort of like hobbled together. You also have cars, bikes, plane boards, and trains boards. Nice. Trains and subways. That's cool. this would be a good canvas material study. So let's do like a canvas in sun. I want to see like a nice shade and canvas tent. Come on, canvas tent, give me light and shadow info. Just to give like a general color vibe. Oh, there we go. I found it. Look at this. Perfect image. Boom. That's what I wanted. We get the blues in here. It's a little bit shiny. We get some blues down there. We've got some of the warms from the glow, but we also have the sunlight up here. We've got good shadow color. We got the subsurface scattering color. We've got it all. See, I like references like this for materials because it shows the transparency. You can see the inside, you can see the outside, you can see the shine from the light. You just can kind of see everything. It's really like the perfect material reference. Like, there is nothing about this material that isn't being showcased in this. Like, it's, I don't know, maybe I'm like gushing over references, but I like it. Most people would not look at this tent image and be like, oh, what a great image. But no, it is great. I don't know. I like that I can get excited about this stuff. Speaking of steampunk, I found a bunch of cool stuff inside trains like this one. Let me take a look. Hopefully I don't like crash myself by... Ooh, what in the world? See, stuff like that, I don't even know where to begin to even know if it's real. Like, I guess this is where you look up the copyright and stuff and make sure that the person posting it is the photographer. But, like, for all I know, something like that could be AI, and I don't know how I would know. Because I don't know enough about the crazy gadgetry that goes on the inside of boats. So I wouldn't even know if what I'm looking at is real or not. Because it's so alien to me anyway. And that's what kind of scares me, you know? It's real, I can tell from the image itself, but there's a bunch of similar images of similar stuff in other trains. Okay. Yeah, no, I'll take your word for it. I'm sure the stuff you found is good, high quality. But yeah, it's just like on first glance though, you always have to do this like investigation kind of, which I mean is good, right? It's good to be that skeptical for anything on the internet. So in some, you know, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but I also think it's sort of okay. It's just, it's kind of a shame. Yeah, exactly, right? You have to be a little suspicious at first. Okay, so this is all going to be canvas. So I'm just going to try and paint a spheroid shape. This is all... And then we will put the bright on this as well. But here's the canvas material. I do think I'm going to put a top to it, like a different type of canvas, like layers. That's something I learned from some good character designers, is layers. And then up top will be the brighter white. No, but well, I think it's okay to put this here for now, for the lighting info. But for like example, says Sarah, if you... Right, did I just run over something? What's on the ground? I don't know. Anyway, you look at the American flags hanging outside the window. There's no way an AI could image would have those be that consistent? Oh, true. Yeah, yeah. Especially with the well, that's the thing though. If you if you know that something in the image is realistic and you know what it is, but I feel like some things like weird boat stuff, I just am so unfamiliar with it. It's hard to know. Yeah. I do feel like though using the image itself to tell if the image is real is only reliable to a certain degree. Like, it's only reliable as far as your knowledge of the subject and what's in the image. And if it's totally something new, it's not a reliable way to know if an image is real, to like look at the image. I mean, there is sort of a common sense sniff test that I think works a lot of times, but a lot of that has to do with like we're already familiar with the subject. If you show me a crazy intricate mess of tubes and pipes, I don't know, like that's the exact stuff the AI makes up. Um, so yeah, it's tough. It's not easy, and I still think anyone who claims, oh, it's easy, you can tell AI right away, I think is just trying to I mean, you know, using their hatred of AI, justifiably so, to like make a bad argument of like, oh, AI is actually easy to tell. I don't think so. I think it's really hard in some cases, and especially if it's an unfamiliar subject and there aren't any clear, you know, complicated things that's being, you know, messed up. Or like what happens when the AI does get the American flag correct. Like, now you're using it's like, yeah, I don't know, it's tricky. But I think that's where you just find the author, look them up, scroll through their content, and see as a whole, like, did they pop into existence at 2022 or did they exist before that? And if they did, were they doing more or less the same stuff? Um, oh, there definitely are some that you can tell right away, but it's not reliable, I think, across the, you know, all images, which is, you know, I think first thing you can do is always the sniff test, right? You sort of look at it and be like, it looks fishy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually didn't even see the flag, to be honest. So that's, yeah, I missed the flag. I don't want to render these forms too well. Not that I would ever render them too well, but I don't want to render them too much because I'm just trying to get the some of the colors and vibe down. Like, I can always play with the shape and form a little bit later. It's so hard to get believable foliage textures. Yeah, it also depends on like what sort of resolution you're going for, right? Like if you're just doing like a painterly tree in the background, I feel like it's not that bad. But if you're trying to do like, here is a specific single standalone tree and sort of zoomed in, stylized version, and you're trying to make it look like a tree, I think it's so hard. Yeah. Heyo! Taikyo-ban, how are you? Yeah, background trees are fine, but foreground trees suck. Yeah, fair enough. How are you doing? Hope you're well. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to throw caution to the wind and just bring in lots of, nope, not that color. There we go. Some blues, some deep blues. Some oranges. I'm basically trying to slap some colors together so that we can tell what's happening. I don't actually think that would be a good... spot for a... Doing good? Clean up your room to start the new month on a good food. On a good mood. Mood or food? I like food. Yeah, that's good though. I think we were talking about that earlier today, right? Starting on a good note, on a good foot. Gotcha. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Sort of getting an easy win, something to just like, start the stream off in a good mood, or on a good foot, or food. I don't like these airships that I'm making. I don't like the I'm just gonna go like that. A little bit of copy paste never hurt anybody. Maybe a lot of copy paste, to be honest. Oh, that doesn't even look like an airship anymore. What if we extend the canvas a bit? I don't know. This painting might be a little bit of a mess when we're done, but you know what? I'm okay with that. Because I'm having fun. But also, I think there's definitely some... This is why I should do separate layers. Nope. I don't know. Maybe back to that. This is also some weird... Maybe a quick paint over here. Because this is the stage of the painting where, like, there's some stuff good, but there's a whole lot of bad. And I'm okay with some of the bad, but I do think... I think we just gotta be a little careful what we're doing. Also, how big are these? Oh, I should probably also, since we're at it, go back to sketching in this thing. Maybe just, like, something like that. And so this could be, like, a dark part. So that could be in light. And then as we get further back, we could get darker and maybe redder. Something like that. And then some dark lines here. Just very subtle. And then we can get some more here. Something like that's not too bad. Get a little bit of a lighter top part here. Maybe there's also like, I like the idea of this sort of orangey gold, almost like embroidery or like this, I don't know. Could be like a little bit of a metal rust or something around the edges. My screen just went black. Okay. There we go. But yeah, just things like this I've been having a lot of fun with. Maybe there's like a little cap here. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know if this ship has much balance, so maybe we'll put some foreground thing on it. And again, this isn't perfect by any means. But I do think there's starting to be something here. And then this ship, of course, can be smaller because it's further away. Also, we don't want this awkward tangent here. Although I do want some overlap. I don't just want everything isolated. Maybe not. Maybe this could be... Let's duplicate it again. And then I'm going to move this out of the way. I think maybe we can have some overlap. And I'm being very destructive here because I'm still just sketching and trying to figure out like where things are located. We might be able to go like this here. And then maybe we do another airship over here. So like there's another... Reminds me of something I'd imagine in Treasure Planet. Yeah, a little. I guess Treasure Planet does have some stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, look, I think airships aren't exactly a new thing. So it's not like I'm inventing the wheel here. Although I do think this this floating island thing is kind of cool, potentially. But I do wonder if maybe I change the shape of it a bit. Just to add some negative space back here. And try to add some compositional elements. I might be doing a whole lot of flipping of the canvas real quick, so if I make someone dizzy... Airships, yeah, we were talking about this earlier. Airships as a concept are super cool. They're one of the, like, the most sort of carefree, leisurely paced things. They're not, like, zooming from one place to another, right? They're pretty blimpy and slow, which I think gives a lot of... It's a really cool mood, right? I think a lot of things I feel like give sort of this industrial, unstoppable force kind of vibe. When you think of like the steam engine, or even if it's not moving fast, it's still sort of like this unstoppable force vibe. You know, any sort of these massive, giant steampunk things. But something about airships are a little bit more floaty and adventurous. It's maybe not inherently, but they lend themselves well, I think, to that vibe. Like, I don't know if it's I don't think it's an inherent quality of them, but it definitely, if you were to make a slow adventure story, I mean, kind of Final Fantasy, right? You there's always these like big airships moments where you can go and wander around and talk to people, and then like you're not just like, oh, we're there. It's sort of, there's an entire like a scene that can happen on the ship, which I think is cool. So yeah, airships definitely are great. It's like a nice calm, It's like maybe stuff will get wild when you arrive at your destination, but while you're on the airship, it's just chill. Yeah. I'm trying to think of composition right now. I'm not even sure if I like... I might need to chop this up a bit. I almost should do like a composition study type thing where I just like here, let's try some. Let's merge all my layers because they were already all merged. And I'm gonna save. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna just chop things up and because I feel like this airship doesn't need to be this doesn't need to be in that position, right? It could be coming at an angle like this. Yeah. True, but Ghibli, even then, Ghibli still kind of gives an adventure vibe, like, across all of it, all of the movies and all of its, like, its themes. Even though, like, it still has this, like, they do typically show them in more militaristic way, I think. I don't know. I'm not a Ghibli expert, but I feel like we need another airship here. Is this like a docking port? We could totally do like a docking port. Trying to have some sort of, I guess steampunk is kind of the motifs of like some of the Edwardian era vibes where you have a lot of these like fancy shapes, fancy architecture, lots of spires, but in this case they're reverse spires. Start to get some of those fancy shapes in here. I've never heard of Edwardian era. Edwardian, yeah, it's like it's basically Victorian, I think. Let me Google it so I'm not spouting nonsense. Edwardian. I'm pretty sure it's Edwardian. It's like Victorian, King Edward, as opposed to King Victoria. So it's like during the Edwardian. I guess it was only like a 10-year reign, but yeah. Edwardian era. Yeah, that's a thing. But yeah, I think it's basically mishmashed with like Victorian style. So anytime somebody talks about like Victorian looking stuff, it's like the same. I think something, yeah. I don't know. It's the vibe a lot of steampunk is set in. I honestly couldn't tell you the difference between Victorian and Edwardian. I just like the term Edwardian. It makes me sound fancy. Like it makes me sound like I know what I'm talking about, even though I didn't. I knew it was a thing. That's not actually why I used it. That's just the word that popped into my head. But yeah. I looked up Edwardian architecture and it's like every architecture style imaginable, so maybe no one knows. Yeah, maybe no one knows. Google just doesn't even know. There's probably, if you went to like a university's website, like .edu websites, you could probably, like architecture departments and stuff who have like architecture history type courses. Oftentimes you can find really good university resources. That's what I've been trying to find lately, is if I'm actually looking for a reference for something like Viking themed stuff, you go to historical, like, yeah, basically university websites where they're teaching history of a thing, because chances are their stuff is better than like, random Bob on the internet making up a random post with like AI generated images. Although even now it's hard to know, because maybe, I don't know. architecture is tricky because a lot of time it pulls up like modern revival versions. Yeah, yeah, for sure. And if it is a modern revival version, you don't even know how true to form it is, right? Because people make all sorts of things, like interpretations. But that's where I think if you find something that's like from like a university site or something, you're more likely to, I feel like, for it to work, for it to be good. Okay, we were talking earlier about gradients. This image has none in the background. This stuff should be dark, although I don't know if it should be blue dark. Hello! Lego Bimo on YouTube. Hello, Joe. Don't know if it will sound rude, but I just tuned in and I can't quite tell what you are painting. Can you help? Oh, that's fair. I don't think that's rude. I mean, I don't think so highly of myself that that people should know what I'm painting an airship of some sort and an upside down city of some sort. And I say of some sort because honestly, I don't know. The upside down city is not quite working. But no, you know what's funny? That whole concern of yours, the concern's not funny. But what's funny is that I have the same concern when I ask people what something is, especially if I feel like they're a significant way into the painting. You know, then you feel like or you know, especially this is like the worst when someone's like, "Hey, look at this painting I just finished," and you're like, "What is it?" You know, like how do you ask that? Like you don't want to ask that, right? Because if they're finished, clearly, you know, like it kind of feels like a slap in the face or something. So I totally get the concern. I think it's a really interesting thing. I never really know how to approach it other than maybe just like, you know, point out the things that you do know. But yeah, no, this is an airship floating in front of an upside down city type thing. But yeah, the city is not good yet. Could even put like stuff in front like this. I'm just messing around here with values. I'm still trying to get the generic read of it. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of this is I don't know. It's something. I don't know. Did that help? Did that help clarify what it is? It's an airship. This is an upside down sort of city, or it's supposed to be. There's lots of things in the back. Maybe if we flip it upside down, then I can. Let me try something. I don't know if this is gonna work. I should have done this on new layer. Oops. Let's start now. I mean, this is maybe flying a little too close to the sun. They might, maybe not the greatest, You thought it was a river with shit. Oh, true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could see that. Yeah, these here. Yeah, maybe there's some cloud issues. Yeah, that's true. I could see that. Yeah, that's a tough one. It's maybe doing some sort of. Oh, I understand. I get, actually, you know what? Now that you mention that, I see what you're saying. Um, let me look at aerial. Hold on. Let me look at Yeah, I actually know exactly what you're talking about. Um, how do I show that? I mean, showing the ground could be a good thing. So maybe there's like a ground down here that's ever so slightly blue-green. I mean, I think also that the angle here is weird. Oh gosh, now that I see it, I can't unsee it. This is awful. Thank you for pointing this out, but also shame on you for ruining my image for me. Um, oh my goodness. No, I'm kidding. Not actually shame on you. I appreciate it. Oh my goodness. I can't help but see it though. What do I do? I guess clouds? Is that... I'm looking at some references of other airships and fantasy stuff and just things in the sky to like get a vibe of like how do you make it not look like water? I mean, I guess just put lots of clouds. Overlapping, not overlapping, all sorts of stuff. You can definitely go lots of little clouds. Probably doesn't help that this is very... something like that. Wait, unsee what now? What chat did I miss? Oh, like on YouTube, some Lego Bimo asked a question. They asked, I don't know if it'll sound rude, but I just tuned in and can't quite tell what you are painting. Can you help? And then they said, at first I thought it was a river with ships in the city in the reflection. Yeah, this ship is getting darker as they go back. Yeah, that one was specific. I was trying to make it look like this one was in the shadow. Um, yeah, that one needs to be way brighter. And also probably smaller. Yeah, it's just a lot of scale issues. There's a lot of issues with this painting. Yeah, it's true. That would probably happen in water, not air. And also, yeah, there's a lot of issues. But the idea of it maybe looking like they're in water and there's weird reflections, and also because we're looking at a weird upside down city thing, which also is confusing. So yeah. Yeah, I think so too. The foreground ship could use some direct light. Yeah. I haven't quite made it there yet. I was planning on doing that later, but we might be overdue. Are you imagining this above most of the cloud cover or below? Above. I'm imagining it above. Or kind of in, maybe. I don't know. Maybe like a clear day, but in the clouds. So like I'm imagining this structure is above most of the cloud cover, but whether or not there's a ton of cloud cover right now, I don't know. I just kind of, I should have thought of that, right? That, hold on. So yeah, I guess I could still have the clouds recede to a like an eye line, like a vanishing point, kind of, and get smaller. That's a good question to ask, by the way. Because then I could treat this like a... Because if it was above, you would have very brightly lit clouds underneath the ship. But below, we'd be able to see some amount of ground, like fields or something. Yeah, true. Yeah, I'm thinking this is gonna be the above. So this will be like, these will all be clouds underneath here, going off in the distance. Maybe, I don't know how many clouds I want, that was the thing. But yeah, I think you're right. Do I understand what you're saying? You said, because if it was above the clouds, you'd have very brightly lit clouds underneath the ships. I mean, they could be in shadow, depending on where the light is. I haven't really figured out where the light source is, but I'm thinking that light is coming in from this direction, so there might be shadows cast on these things, like this. Which means some of these clouds will be probably darker as well. I guess that's another thing, right? Lots of clouds that'll be dark. Where's the steampunk Millennium Falcon? Age imitation, how's it going? Because even if it's overcast day, if it's daytime and we're above the clouds, they're not overcast. They're getting all the light. No, there's a giant structure here. We've got a massive mountain above us. What do you mean they're getting all the light? There's an entire mountain. We're under a mountain. We may not be getting light. There could be little gaps of sunlight poking through, I suppose, that create things. But I mean, I think I get what you're saying. In theory, if you're above the clouds during day, and it's daytime, and the sun is above the clouds also, right? And it's not like early morning or something, then the clouds will be bright from above. The clouds are super far below us? Well, I maybe. Yeah, that's true. Are they super far below us? I'm not even sure. Honestly, a lot of these are choices that I have to make. I'm not actually sure. Also, I don't like the angle of this thing. This is weird. It weirded me out. Yeah, if you're in the clouds, it would be overall crazy hazy. Yeah. True. I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do think below or way above would be better, because then you could get like, or maybe some of these could be in and then like this one is above, so we still get all this stuff. But yeah, there's definitely, I don't know, a mix. I think I just gotta work on it. It's getting there. Maybe. I'm not sure what's going on with this blimp though, the form. This is one that I feel like I will need more time than I'm gonna allow. Oh no, what am I doing? Lots of clouds. Layers and layers of clouds. Layers and layers of clouds. And then these... We can have some wispy clouds above. There are different types of clouds, different levels. This cloud that go above and under. Oh, thanks. Thank you. Didn't have to do this. I appreciate it, though. I do not like the camera tilt there. Yeah, I do. Yeah, there are. Oh, I do like the poofiness of the clouds. That's nice. They definitely give some good potential ideas for like. You still get the shadows on these sides, and you see a lot of the shadows still. But it definitely looks nicer. And then also there's still a lot of this can be fixed with good value control, I think, also to like help imply certain things. Like this. I don't know if I'm actually gonna keep this here, but stuff like that. This is probably too intense, but that's okay. We're just gonna go with that. And then I'm gonna fix it in a moment. And tone it back. It's already it's slowly coming together. I feel like we're looking at the balloon part from below. But the ship part from above, I don't know, it feels weird angle. Well, we kind of are, right? I mean, I think. Because this is our eye line. I'm trying to make that clear with the clouds, like where they recede into the distance. So yeah, I think we are looking above and below, right? Just ever so slightly. It might look a little weird. I mean, I don't think I have it quite right yet. But I think there is an element of that will be right. Yeah. I think we could even be up here a little bit. I don't know. It's not perfect yet, and it needs more work. It's tricky, you know? But yeah, this is kind of our eye line. I think. And yeah, who knows? Maybe also the stuff back here isn't clear. Like I don't have my lines carrying through. Right? And this stuff should get really, really faded. I'm just kind of putting in blobs. But yeah. No, this thing needs work, and it's not going to come together immediately. But I think it's already starting to come together a little bit. I don't know about that one. This boat down here, or this ship, doesn't quite look right. That airship could be... Yeah, I don't know if I like that one. And then this one we can put back in here. Just making this shape. But yeah. A lot of this for me is kind of trial and error and figuring out what I even want, because as I work on it, it kind of comes together a little bit. I'm still not totally convinced of the composition at all. Maybe some shapes here. These could look kind of upside down. Maybe not. Maybe little docking ports over here. Also smaller shapes back here because we're further away. It's easy to kind of forget that, like, you know, we have to have scale. We fly. Well, at least now you can tell we're flying. That's better than what we were at a moment ago. I kind of also feel like this part of the blimp should be angled. What did you miss? I don't know. You didn't miss a whole lot, other than just it not being clear what we were looking at. I think it's a much more clear now, a little bit. Well, it's more clear. Maybe not much more clear. It's a little bit more clear. But yeah, how are you, Sushi Cat? Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's doing well today. Also, if anybody has any art they'd like to share, please do. Yeah, I think that kind of works. We've got some stuff here. Maybe we have... I mean, we could put something up here. I'm trying to figure out how I want to make this boat look, you know? I don't want it too piratey. Doing nice, trying to figure out some blueprint things on an app called Warudo for VTuber stuff. Oh, interesting. Warudo. Never heard of it. But good luck. Hope you succeed. Yeah, I don't know if I like this maybe there's one poking above, so like the clouds are I'm not sure I like this airship here. But first, let's go back and add some of the bright lights under here, because I do like that there was some lights here earlier of like homes or things back here. I think there's some really good opportunity for some lights. Lots of lights back here, here, and just lights everywhere. Lights, lights, lights. Everywhere lights. Something like that. Little sparkles. Could also have some, oops, some sort of lights under here. For like on the boat, on the ship. I wonder if how big these things are. I guess we could have like, maybe they're just like normal people size, like here. Maybe they're like leaning out. That kind of helps with scale a little bit. I kind of like that. This scale, it's like they're just more of a boat rather than a massive ship. I mean, although this thing should still probably be much larger, even if that's the case. Maybe that's what we do. Maybe we take this and we just increase the blimpiness of it. This is what happens when you don't have a proper sketch phase and you piecemeal it together. Nope, we'll just go like that. Or maybe that should go off the page. That could be a thing. I feel like having that rounded edge but right up against the edge of the canvas was not a good choice. There. Still not amazing, but it's getting somewhere. It's good for a stream painting, you know, where we're just kind of going with the flow and we're trying to... I don't know. Trying to make something look somewhat believable. Just people just chilling on the boat. I mean, does the scale get ruined here? I mean, maybe. Yeah, let's try some direct lighting. What do you think the cargo is? People. They're traveling from one city to the next. Commercial flight? Yeah. I think so. I think they're just people traveling leisurely. I mean, how else do you get from one of these towers, one city to the next? Like, what do you do? But yeah, I'd reckon. I reckon they are indeed commercial flights. Southwest Airlines in an alternate dimension. Yep. Star Rail has some really cool airships called starships, but they're small personal vessels. Yeah, these are small, right? I mean, now that I've added people. But that city is broken up into various islands called delves. Called star skiffs. Oh, that's cool. A skiff is a type of a boat, isn't it? No, it's all good. All good. Also, what if we add some glow dodge in here? Glow dodge. I mean, that's a little too bright, I feel like. That's not bad, though. I mean, we do get the bright sun. I mean, I do kind of want it to be, like, over the city, because then we can get some nice shadows. You're still getting a fair amount of direct light on the ship and clouds, because their cast shadow probably isn't obscuring everything. Feels less gloomy, too. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't want to do too much. I still want to keep it kind of overhead, because otherwise we have like I'll need to light all this stuff, and I don't really want to light all that stuff. I actually like it in shadow, which is kind of why I tried to have like the light come from up here in a way. Although that also makes it look metal, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, there definitely should be some light coming in depending on where the sun is from all these things. Just trying to lighten things up. Just having some fun with colors. Now, I can... Yeah, it definitely feels less gloomy now. Now I'm gonna take... Also, why am I so darn laggy? What is happening? I gotta close all my tabs. I just think I have too much stuff open. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, now that I have colors that kind of work, or values that kind of work, I'm going to take a painterly brush. Actually, I'm just going to take that same brush I was using. And just make a new layer, and basically just paint up some shadows, or not some shadows, some clouds. Try to get some of those fun colors in here. Soften some things. Especially in the background. A lot of these clouds can get very, very soft. And I don't want to just do too, like, blurry. Like, I do like the idea that there's a bit painterly, some hard edges, some soft edges. And I like the idea that there's some puffy clouds. With some lights. Lots of little shapes back here too, because we're getting further and further back. This is still in light, but it does want to be brighter, because it's not... It's a darker material, or at least that's what I wanted it to be. I'm afraid to click more links. I think it's my computer's struggling. Ooh, yeah, that is nice. Yeah, that is nice. Very good vibe. I like the soft the way they shied away from the super bright blue. Yeah, that's really good. Well, I never know if it struggles until I click. Oh yeah. Lots of very bright white sunlight. Um, yeah, that's good. Some foreshortening in the clouds up here. But then also maybe some shadows on the clouds, like back here. Get some nice shadowy areas. Maybe even some different colors. I don't know. Just putting different strokes in here of different colors to kind of give it a magical vibe. Try to lighten things up. I'd probably even do a little bit of airbrush, like softening this. I don't know how much atmosphere I want back here. I mean, probably a little bit. I do like this for a stream paint, though. It's not, the best thing I've ever painted, and, you know, logically it doesn't make a ton of sense. But it's not, it kind of works. I mean, I think it's... Yeah, I think it's working. Or kind of working. I may look at this later and be like, what is happening with my values? Or like, what's the... Also, I have other things open. Let's close this. Let's save. I should be getting ready to end stream here, though, because my computer is struggling. Although it's not really my computer. It says I'm at only 11% CPU. So I don't know why I would be lagging so badly. I feel like if I were actually lagging, it would not be that. It would be, pushing the limits. Maybe not, though. I want some reds in here. Or some oranges. Let's get some bright oranges in here. We had some in our references, and I thought they were neat. Down here. I don't know if we'd be able to see that. Something like that's kind of neat. We just pop in those colors. Something like that. And then some teal up here. Maybe some like bands or something. Just different colors. And then up here, we're gonna get real bright. I think that works. How's that look? Does that look like where... Does the color make sense? I think the color looks good there. Maybe even some blues bouncing in under here. Some bounce light or something. I think that looks okay. I'm not sure about the canvas texture. I don't know about this material, this under material, but I like the top material. I think just putting different materials in sunlight, where you have like a light here and then a shadow color, I think just doing that makes things look so much better. This is why I kind of have like a rule to myself, like try to put everything in light and shadow. That way you can really show the material, you can show the shininess. I don't know, I just think it looks way better. Okay, why am I so laggy? Am I lagging for you guys or not? Or is it just on my end? I don't even know if things like YouTube is working or if my internet's working. Okay, I don't know, but I'm gonna end here because I am not gonna be able to put up with this anymore. So, and it's right at the 4-hour mark, so it kind of works. So, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. I had fun, I think, and thank you guys for all the help. Always good inputs, good suggestions. It's very nice. Definitely, probably helped me in this good art critique. So yeah. Is it your brush lagging? That's the problem I've been having lately. I mean, it wasn't at the... It might be, but it wasn't at the start of stream. No, sometimes it's fine, but no, it's like my entire computer is lagging. It feels like, you know, me moving the canvas from panning side to side, that'll lag, and then the brush will lag. Everything's lagging. So I don't really know. It's like the whole program. I think it's just my whole computer. I like what you made of it. I like what I made of it too. There are definitely some things that I don't like, but I think overall it's quite nice. Yeah, there's... Every time I've streamed art, Photoshop has been so laggy, and I think it's OBS's fault, because I didn't used to have that problem with Streamlabs. Yeah, I don't know what... My internet's also been really bad lately, so I don't think it's an internet issue, because that shouldn't affect my end. It should just affect your end, but I don't really know what it is. I've been having so many issues that it's hard to pinpoint which issue is the root problem. Also, you know what? We could probably go like this and make a little more lines here. I feel like just having a single point, no redundancy. Why are you using OBS over Streamlabs? Because I'm duo streaming to YouTube so that I can have VODs. I want my VODs to be saved to YouTube. Also, just like maybe over time, slowly grow my YouTube channel. Probably won't, because nobody really discovers me through YouTube, but yeah, I wanted to do that. In Streamlabs, you can't do that unless you pay the money. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use OBS because it's super easy. And now my VODs are on YouTube. So yeah. OBS has a lot more options for scenes and settings that I tried to find for so long that Streamlabs didn't have. Oh, see, I actually find that I actually like Streamlabs. Oh, you were asking Sarah, I see. Yeah, I also switched to OBS. I've been using Streamlabs, but you can't use external source codes. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, yeah, Streamlabs is a little bit more close to the chest, and they don't really let you do a lot of things. But they do have a lot of options, but you have to pay for them, which sucks. Because who wants to pay for stuff that you can get for free elsewhere? Do I like it more desaturated? I don't know. I don't... You know what I don't like? I actually don't like... Sorry, I said I was going to end stream and then I didn't. I feel like this stuff back here should be just a different color. It should be like bits of dark, you know, bits of orange, bits of different color, different values. I don't really like the shape and structures down here. I like the massive atmospheric perspective. Yeah, there is a lot of it, and I like that too. I think it makes sense for floating above the clouds, lots of moisture, you know, clouds. Although technically this high up, you probably actually wouldn't have that much atmospheric perspective. But yeah, I like it. It's fun. It's this kind of painting's nice because it's a little different than what I normally do. I don't typically put like big, you know, chips and stuff in my painting. So it definitely has a bit of yeah, it's just fun. And that's what we're here for, I think. Does OBS remember your stream title and tags from your last stream, or is there an option for that? I don't know if there's an option for that. I think you have to set it on Twitch. I actually don't know. I don't know how OBS does that, and I use OBS. I just keep forgetting to change my stream's title and stuff. So I'm pretty sure yeah, I think mine remembers it, but it doesn't prompt me. Whereas Streamlabs is like, what would you like to name your stream? OBS, you hit live and you're live, and there is no like, that setup is just kind of, you have to do it. So OBS is, you have to be a little bit more on top of your game, I feel like. Streamlabs, you can kind of go lazy mode, and it holds your hand. So it definitely is nice, but it's kind of a pain. Hey, Aries, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Just go to the Twitch dashboard, pop out your desired settings panel, and yeah, that's what I do. So beautiful painting, thank you. I'm having fun with it. It's, I'm about ready to end stream here, though. I feel like I want to do something, like some sort of filigree type stuff down here. I don't know, maybe like a blue or something. That could be kind of cool. We get like a light blue up here, almost like a filigree. Sort of. Just some sort of pattern that is something. Maybe spirals. And then back here, we can make it bluer. Because it's... I don't know. Maybe that's not very good. But anyway. But really anything. I feel like this kind of thing would be neat to have, like, graffiti and stuff on these. That would be really cool. Graffiti on an airship. That would be an awesome scene. Just a bunch of airships next to each other, but they all have, like, graffiti and stuff on them. And they're very, like... I could totally see people graffitiing up the sides of airships. Okay, I don't like the look of this. I made it ugly, but there's... Also, I think I'm on the... Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. That's probably why it's so ugly. Whoops. Uh-oh. I'm ruining it. I love the globe. The globe. The globe? Which globe? Is there a globe in here? Puddin' to chocolate, how are you? Hope you're doing well. This is supposed to be an airship, but fair enough if it looks like a globe. Sometimes the things I draw don't look like the things they're supposed to be, but that's okay. Skill issue. Yeah, no worries. It's my skill issue to not make the things look like what they're supposed to look like. Lots and lots of things. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for popping in. Alright. I mean... This is kind of fun. I could go into details and stuff all day, but I don't think I'm going to. Yeah, this is a good one-day stream painting. Alright, ending here. Thanks again for being here. I do have socials if people want to follow me on, like, I don't know, Instagram and Patreon and all that. Socials. How am I? I'm doing well. My day is over, though. I'm a little tired. I'm a little hungry. I should stretch. I should move. You know, just do stuff. Stand up, stretch the old legs, all that. Yeah. So yeah, I am live 3 days a week. Saturday, Monday, Thursday, so next stream will be on Monday. And I appreciate everybody